Of thought.
Get ready. No. Peace, folks, and welcome back to another edition of the Proper Thought series right here on the old TPOT YouTube page. And as y'all know, Thursday nights is Dark X Live, DXL. I'm your host, X, but you knew that already. That's why you're here. And tonight, we will be talking Dark X Live, the dark side of media. Yeah, that's what we're going to be talking about tonight, y'all. And I have a pretty good damn lineup for y'all tonight. Of course, we have our guest of honor, Lady Ruby. You probably know her as Classic Ruby. She's our guest of honor tonight. And also in the house right now, we got brother B.MT from Black Male Talk, my man. I've grown very fond of this brother. Also, we got a few special guests coming in for you too, because y'all know X always like to hit y'all to the head with some surprises. So you're gonna see a few. You're gonna see a few familiar heads pop up in here tonight. We're gonna get right into it. I didn't do a show last night because I had to take a night off. I had shit to do. But we back tonight, and I want y'all to mark this on your calendar because next week, that's next Wednesday, September 12th, the one and only Dr. Umar Johnson will be in the house on TPOT. Yes, right, you heard me. Dr. Umar Johnson. I will have the phone lines up. He'll be taking your calls, taking your questions. It's going to be lit, y'all. So make sure you set that old reminder, hit that bell, do whatever you got to do, because next Wednesday, we're going to have the one and only Dr. Umar Johnson up on TPOT, and he's going to be taking your calls. So set your reminder. Next week is going to be good. But anyway, let me go ahead and get to my guest. Lady Ruby, what's good?
Good evening, sir.
What's going on? Brother B.MT, what's good? I think he's
Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Good evening, everybody.
Tonight, I wanted to talk to y'all about the dark side of media. Um, we're all familiar with it, even though we don't really talk about it because a lot of this dark side stuff kind of goes unspoken. It's subliminal, even though we know it's there. Um, like I said in the promo, I mean, media is good for getting a message out. It's good for interacting with others, making connections. It's good for your business and all of that. That's the bright side of media. But there is a dark side that exists. And I think that it has had some negative effects on us, especially us as black people. It's had an effect on many people, but whatever affects other people, it affects black folks 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times fold. Okay. When other people get a cough, we catch the damn pneumonia. So those negative effects that have affected everybody in media, I think it has affected us more. I think that we have gotten to a point where we as a people, we rely on media so much that we have integrated it into our psyche and we have given it a lot more credence and credibility than it really freaking deserves. And I want to talk to my guest about that tonight. Um, Let me start with you, Lady Ruby. Um, you're a woman that's on media. You travel in a lot of media circles. Uh, what's your
Mm.
take on the dark side of media?
Well, I think as far as media goes, the darkest thing that I've seen, and I'm in kind of the Zennial generation. So I was born and raised before social media kicked in, but I was still in high school when social media started booming, and suddenly, not just text messaging, but social media sites like YouTube, Black Planet, those types of things started coming out. And what you see perpetually, and it's a growing problem, is that rather than people developing actual social skills and understanding true social identity, even their own context in society, as it actually relates to reality, what you see are people evaluating themselves against other people's, fake online personas. Even on Facebook, where it's friends and family and whatever, they're looking at these other people's fake lives, the things that they're presenting as being their lives. Look, I got a car. Look, I got a dog. Look, I'm smiling today. Oh, everything's great today. And so they're looking at other people's lives and thinking, oh my God, everyone else has it together but me. Everyone else is happy but me. And so, that's all contributing to a lot of feelings of, feeling inferior, feeling like, maybe everyone else in the world gets it but them. And then you have this idea that on Facebook, for example, the more likes your picture gets, the better you are. Not the better the picture is, but the better you are. The more other people actually like you. It gives you this false sense of fulfillment. It's almost like a drug. Facebook and media, social media, and the gratification you get from other people is almost like a drug in that way. So you get that temporary high, that temporary fix of, yes, people love me. And then you start coming down and you start feeling inferior again and you go searching for the next high. So people aren't really actually socializing. People aren't actually learning or growing, sharing through media anymore. Uh, what they're doing in essence is learning how they are inferior, the ways that they're inferior, the ways that they need to try to strive to attain impossible standards now through media, especially through social media.
Hmm. Brother BMT, what's your take on the dark side of media?
Yeah. For as long as I know, the first media I've ever seen was of Angie Mama. I'm not sure if some of y'all understand how that was, but it was of a old big black woman. It was on Tom and Jerry, and she would be wearing the good old getup and speaking eyes as the stars. You better act right, Tom. And that was the first portrayal of a black person I saw. For the longest, blacks in the media have always been in a clash. It's it's always been in an uphill struggle when it came to music, when it comes to movies or anything, or how they just portray us. It's of some type of struggle or less than, or it has to be some type of self conflict. Honestly, looking at it today, it deals with colorism, it deals with propaganda, stereotypes and generalization. If you notice now, whenever they do show black people, they show us now in interracial relationships now. Not saying I got anything against that, but you just notice now they're showing usually white male, black woman, white woman, black male, mixed kid with black hair and red hair and black skin, and so they know now, they understand that, hey, they know how to put certain things in front of us, because one thing that we have to be real about ourselves is the Negro community has a hard time differentiating between reality and media. And because we have that hard differentiality, because we think that if I can rap or play basketball or get some type of notoriety of fame, I get out of this area I'm in. I get out of this type of status. I get some type of relevance. And that gets very dangerous, because when you don't get the positive energy and feedback from people, you'll seek it elsewhere to whoever will give you the attention. And that's something that has been played on black men and women for a long time. I would see girls saying, "Oh, I want my hair like that, mommy," when they see the Just For Me kit. But they didn't know the Just For Me kit that can do damage to you if not applied correctly. And also damages your scalp. You see a lot of the boys saying, "I got to go get that comp." I mean, I used to watch my brother and them be trying to put those S curls in and all those kits and stuff. And they would try that stuff because they saw James Brown and a lot of those boys when they on the stage getting praise from women from how the media portrays it. But hey, if he's doing it, I could do that too. So the media has been playing a big part in black people for a long time.
Well, what I believe happens a lot is that media has given people, not only has it given people a voice that they may not have had before, I think it's given them a personality that they may not have had before. People feel now more relevant than they've ever felt before. Because let's think about it. Let's think about the people who are on media. Let's think about all of us who are on media. A lot of us, we are in our mom's basement. We're in our mom's attic. You can be on media and be broke as hell and come off and pretend to be rich. You can come off to be smart even though you're dumb as hell. You can create a personality. Okay, not only can you create a platform and a presence on media, you can also build a personality. You can add on to a facade. All right, it's easy to do in media. It's very easy to do. Okay, and what has happened is I think media has made people feel more powerful than they ever felt before. Because let us be clear, and I often talk about this. I actually talked about this with the good doctor, Dr. Yaya, last week. A lot of us get on here, we pretend to be sociologists and scientists and professors and psychologists and freaking relationship experts and all this kind of nonsense. And 90% of us are not. But social media has afforded us the ability to get up here and pretend that we are. We got people who aren't in relationships giving relationship advice. We have people We have people up here who aren't married telling you how to get a wife, how to get a husband. We have people up here who are telling you about how to get money, and meanwhile they live in mom's attic and don't own a car, don't have a bank account, so on and so forth. I can go on and on and on with these examples. And I think media has played a big part in that because, see, you don't really have to interact with a person or talk to a person directly. People can't look you in the eye and all that kind of crap, to kind of assess who you really are. Because once you're on this thing here, you can be whoever you want to be. And I think that not only has thwarted the way we deal with each other, I think it has kind of made it more and more impersonal, especially when you're talking about when the people start getting that complex. They feel that power. They feel that power, and they feel like they know it all, and they know all the people. I was talking to my wife a little while ago before I started, right? And I told her, I said, look, I said, a lot of times on this media thing, we act like we know people, because we do live streams with them, and we do hangouts with them and all this kind of nonsense. We don't really know these people. It's a digital relationship. It's digital. Because, see, if someone drops a bomb on YouTube tonight, the relationship ends. I can't get on the phone and call you and say, come on, bro, let's have a beer together. Let's go fishing. Come on over, man. I help you work on your car. I can't do that with you because, see, we are only connected by this. This is what connects us. And I think a lot of times we get to thinking that social media is socializing. And I think that's where the darkness kind of comes in. We think social media is socializing, and it's not. Okay? It's not. It's interacting, yes, but it's not socializing. And I think what often happens, we think we're socializing so we can say, you know what, I'm not your friend no more, and turn the screen off. And that's the same as ending a friendship. You haven't ended a friendship. What you've done is cut off an interaction with someone that you're connected to digitally. That's what you've done. You haven't ended a friendship because, number one, it was never a friendship in the first place. All right. It was never a friendship. It was a digital relationship. Okay. It's like virtual reality, so to speak. When the computer goes off, it all ends. It all ends. It's like putting on those virtual reality glasses, and it looks like you're in there, and you're really fighting, but really you're not. Really you're not. And the computer is the same way. And I believe that a lot of us, we're so caught up in it that we have let it take not only our minds, I think we've let it take in our souls, a lot of us. I think a lot of us, we have invested our soul so much into media that we can't separate the two. And we think it's the equivalent of real life. We do. We think it's the equivalent of real life. Why you think you look right here, right now? Look down here. You see all these dislikes that you see? See all those dislikes?
Mm-hmm.
They
Well,
think
man,
they
we don't even look at them anymore,
they
bro.
think that they're actually hurting my feelings by doing that. Yeah, they think they're hurting my feelings. Oh, X, I'm gonna thumb down you. I'm gonna thumb you down. I'll thumb you down, X. Ugh. To them, that means something, but it's pointless
Yep.
because to me it means nothing. You understand?
Well,
It
to
means
you, it actually helps your stats as far as interactions. So it's actually helping your channel get some promo.
hey,
Um, right, but it also goes back to exactly what I said. These people are they don't actually have any concept of socialization or what friendship means or connections mean. So for them, they post a picture on Facebook, and if they only get 3 likes, it means everyone hates them. They get dislikes, it means everyone really hates them. So they actually really take that stuff to heart. Like, they're supposed to go home and cry about it, and they probably really do, and that's why they think that you will too. But you have a real life and real self-esteem, so it doesn't
Exactly.
work that way.
I think one of the things I want to tell people, and I had this one guy call me. He called me up. And he was like, "B.MT, I've been watching your channel, and I've been out here busting my ass and putting out videos and this and that, and nobody's viewing me, nobody's subscribing to me, nobody." And I was like, "Turn off your computer." But nobody's gonna. It's getting scary, and I'm gonna tell y'all this. I just started this YouTube stuff for it's almost been 9 months, almost 10 months now. I have 3 channels. And the thing about I tell a lot of these people is that what y'all see here as B.MT, when I turn off the screen, I go back to being Joe. When she turns off her screen, she starts being Miss Classic. He starts being Mr. Prophet. We have lives. And sad to say, a lot of people will never understand that. People come at me all the time and think that this is me. And I'm worried because some people do not know how different. I will watch people. I used to watch my niece used to get up, and it was like crack to her. She could not go without her phone and tweet everything from breakfast to showering to taking a shit. And I was like, "Are you going to stop tweeting?" She's like, "Well, how do you know?" I said, "I can tell what you just did chronologically. Everything. Like you got 23 likes just for taking a picture of a piece of toast and some grapefruit juice. Oh, that's my followers. Why do you need followers?" But see, it's getting to a stigmatism where people need validation. And they think because if we've thumbs down Prophet, we make him feel any less than. But see, this does not, and I try to tell anybody, if you're watching this right now and you're trying to seek some type of fulfillment through social media, please stop. Stop. That is the biggest false devil ever in the world. This is why you're starting to see people commit suicide and stupid stuff. I mean, Zuckerberg already got on in front of the world and said, yes, they spy through Facebook. So I don't know why listen, I turned off my tracker to my phone. I don't need people knowing where the hell I go. I don't think she wants people knowing what she's doing. I don't think you want people knowing that you're going to work or you're going to Dairy Queen tonight to go get your favorite ice cream. But some people feel like that's what they need is to stay in the social media. I'm not gonna lie, social media has set back a lot of people, destroying marriages, friendships, families. I mean, other than us being able to get internet, getting information right now, it's been destructive.
Mm-hmm. So true.
Well, what I know that, like I said before, I mean, media has its benefits, but it also has its problems. It has its negative things. Like you said, it breaks up marriages and friendships, and some people have been killed over things that have been said over a media platform, where there is Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Snapchat, whatever. So when you talk about people being where people need validation, like the good doctor is saying in the chat, someone who's actually a real psychologist, a real psychologist is saying, everyone needs healthy validation. The key word is healthy. And I think that many of us, we seek that validation through media because of whatever. Media has become a vessel for our self-esteem to travel through. Okay? It's become that vessel. You got people who wake up in the morning, man, and before they do anything else, before they get up, brush their teeth, take a shower, take a piss or anything, the first thing they do is they reach for this and they check the Twitter. check the Instagram, check the Facebook before they even get out of bed. Before they can't start their day until they've checked their social media.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They have to check
Yes.
that social media to see what's going on with that first. Now they can start the day. I have seen people, I have seen people actually break down, cry, call other people because they've posted a video or posted a photo and someone disliked it. Someone didn't like it that should have liked it. They say, "Oh, I put this picture up and this person didn't even like it." And I'm like, I'm listening and I'm like, because I'm out of this loop. Okay. It is just foreign to me. And they're actually breaking down crying because XYZ didn't like the photo. Or better yet, you have people that have literally, I mean, they have literally gotten stomped down mad because someone didn't like a photo that they took. They didn't comment on the photo that they took. I'm like, really? And then you hear people talk about Facebook jail. What the hell is Facebook jail? I'm in Facebook jail. Really? You're in
They,
Facebook jail?
yeah, they believe that too.
Mm-hmm.
This is where we are, people. And it affects us worse than it affects everybody. And I know people are going to get mad and say X is a coon and all this kind of crap. But see, I don't give a shit. You know why? Because, see, media isn't my self esteem. It isn't. I don't use media for self esteem. I use media to make my videos. I use media to interact with the good folks that I have on here tonight. I mean, that's what I use media for. Media isn't my bread and butter. Now, don't get me wrong. I can understand if you are like that about media, if it's your living. If you make a lot of money off of it, you got to check your money. It's your job. That's different. But about 70, it's on 75, I think it's between 70 and 80% of us that are on media. We aren't content creators. We're not making money off of it. We're not making videos. 75% of us are just watching. Yeah, we're just watching. 3 out of 4 of us are just watching. We're not creating content. We're not making videos. We're just not. So if you have gotten yourself to that point where you actually are, you're so caught into media and it's part of your life and you don't even make a living off of it. You're not making a living off of it, nor does it contribute to you making a living at all. You're looking for answers on social media. That's probably part of your problem. If you're looking to YouTube for answers, that's probably part of your problem. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
brother Jay Shine, what's good? I see you down there, brother.
What's up, X? What's going on, y'all?
What's going
Hey,
on,
Jay
man?
Shine.
How you
Hey,
doing?
what's up, sis? What's up, B.MT?
Yeah, brother B.MT. I don't know if you know brother Jay Shine, another brother that I have grown very fond of.
Mhm.
Um, we was talking about the dark side of media. I might as well get your take too, brother Jay Shine, now that you're here.
Oh, I mean, I'm gonna keep it real quick, so I want to hear what B.MT and Ruby got to say. But you know how they say through history we got the ages, right? Throughout history, right now we're in the vicarious age. When we look back on history, this is gonna be the vicarious age because right now everybody's living through media. They living through media. You know, like you said earlier, they acting like something they're not. It's even worse is that I'm watching people on these YouTubes and Facebooks just sitting there recording themselves doing nothing and wanting people to watch them do nothing. You know what I mean? There's
Mhm.
something insane about that. I think if we really think back, if we really think back, because some of us got some age, you really think back to the 80s, maybe even back to the 60s when they first invented the TV and started putting in everybody's home. I think this is what we was going to end up anyway because the fascination of being on TV. You ever see people in the background just act a fool as soon as the camera pans on them? You know, this isn't a law to it. And now everybody has basically, if you think about it, they have their own personal TV in their pocket. You know,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
they can put the camera on themselves, go live, look at me, ain't I pretty? Look at me. Look at me, you know what I'm saying? And I fly. It's on
Mhm.
some real fucking, what's that shit? Sleeping Beauty shit. Mirror, mirror on the wall shit. This is some real mirror, mirror on the wall reality thing that we really witnessing right now. And the fucked up thing about it is that the medias that we have is not the enemy. We could be using media like you're doing on your show all the time, disseminating information and talking about real issues. But unfortunately, that's not what's going to grab attention. What's going to grab attention is the low level frequency shit. You know what I'm saying? Somebody shaking their ass, someone
Preach.
cussing somebody out, someone fighting, someone disrespecting another person. That's all that fucking matters. And the fucked up thing about it is that now even mainstream media is doing the same thing. They're doing the same thing, even though I like the fact that they cover Trump, but it's like all day Trump, 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 because it's sensationalism. You know what I mean? Look at what this motherfucker did
Mhm.
today. Look what he did today. Look what this motherfucker said today. It's no different than the shit you see now on Black YouTube. Look at this motherfucker. What they do on the street. Look at that motherfucker over there. You saw him go in that house. You saw that. That's what they're doing in main media right now.
Mm-hmm.
24 fucking 7. So the people are pulling media themselves into Atlanta propaganda. And like I said, we live in a vicarious age. So now we just living through each other, living through different people. You see people becoming fans of other people, diehard fans of other people, and to the point where it's cultish. You know what I mean? And I think it's doing a number on our psyche because I think as a group, not as individuals, but as a people, as a nation, as a society, we're losing the grip of reality. We're not dealing with real shit, that day in, day out, to the point where we're not even dealing with our own family members, our own children, our own loved ones. That stuff is less important than what's going on, like you said, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You know, you see
Mhm.
it all the time. You disturb somebody on Facebook. What do you want? You know what I mean? It's like that's a real human being talking to you.
Ah,
You know what I'm saying? That's a real human being talking to you. You talking about what do you want?
yeah,
And
that's
you
where
over
we
here worrying
are,
about what someone
man.
else is doing. You know what I'm saying? It's shit crazy.
Mhm.
So
This
we
is
took,
where we
but it was
are.
that was something that was really small and something that was part of our culture, and I just think it just magnified, excuse me, into something that I don't know how it's going to end, but all we can do is keep trying. And my answer to it is traveling, turn off the TV, turning my phone off. My kid is at home. I don't need a phone on.
Mm-hmm.
My kid is safe. Dude. I don't, you know what I mean? I don't need to call nobody. I don't need my phone on. If she's away from home, then I need it on because something happens. You know what I mean? But my kid is home. I turn the phone off because I
Mhm.
disconnect myself. You know what I'm saying? And I spend time on my computer reading and learning about what's going on in the world. And right now I'm on some travel shit. So I want to go see some real things, not turn on Facebook and watch somebody else do it. I want to do it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yes, anyway,
Mhm.
that's all I gotta say.
If I could add something to that, because I think that's an interesting thing. And, speaking from the Zennial generation, again, that kind of crossover generation, a lot of us, I mean, we're the ones who started, unfortunately, that 30 is the new 20. And things like that. And what it comes down to is a lot of my generation, I see them sitting around doing stuff that, they should have been doing, should have been done doing, at 20, 21, getting, no nothing jobs and sitting at home and complaining about this and that and whatever. But what they do is they watch these people on Facebook and they go, man, that guy's so lucky. Man, I wish I could do what that guy's doing. And everything is about that subconscious wish fulfillment and looking at other people and like somehow they're this magical special being and they just had magical special privileges. And that's how they managed to get on YouTube and have 1.5 million followers and get to do this and get to do that. And oh God, their life is so exciting. And it's almost like they use that as fuel to be able to get through their own boring, unfulfilling, unsuccessful lives. Is they come home and they follow a whole bunch of people who are doing what they want to do. And they're saying, if only I was that person, if only I had that person's breaks. So in some ways, it's almost like keeping the rest of society docile and keeping the rest of society not wanting more, not fighting for more, not fighting for actual change. Why do you need to fight for change when you can watch someone else fight for change? Why do you need to push for, you know, better pay when you can watch someone else, you know, get better pay. Like it's almost like we're okay with not getting what it is that we want and even what we need from life as long as we can watch someone else do it.
I want to spark something.
Go ahead, brother B.MT.
I gotta just be a little spark a little bit, just to spice up your channel right now. My cousin called me. This like happened like this week. Now I saw him. I was watching him on Facebook Live. I guess he's on Facebook Live, and he was like, "This motherfucking cop right here done pulled me over." So he's doing a whole Facebook Live video. The cop pulled him over. I'm like, "Why is he on Facebook Live showing the cop?" And he's like, "I see you right now." So he's putting the camera all in the cop's face and everything. And I'm like, "Why are you doing that? Why are you antagonizing him?" I called him. He said, "Hey, I'm trying to do a live." I said, what did you do?" "I was speeding, but this motherfucker got me pulled over." "Why you got out your phone? Put down your phone and just take your damn ticket." You see, he said, "Well, what if I get shot?" Well, first thing, are you doing anything right now? Well, does he have a body camera on you? You're right now in the middle of the road. Everybody can see you. Have your hands out where he can see them. You put your hands down and front of him with your phone, he don't know what you're doing. You're a black man. You should already know that. You know better. Now, I'm going to spark something because I've been seeing now, but I saw there was a video, I got to go find it, where they were saying, go pull out your phone and get on live when the police pull you over. And I want to ask some of y'all, how many of y'all been doing that? Are y'all pulling out phones on the cops now to try to scare them, or, you know, what's going on with this stuff? We're now seeing now that we're using phones for all these instances of cops and beatings and different things going on in society. Is this helping us push us forward with civility? Because I'll see 98 cop videos of fights, cops, but just like Brother Shine just said, when it comes to seeing a brother prophet say something that's factual or realistic, or maybe instead of if Classic was doing a video about, hey guys, I'm gonna teach y'all to, you know, fix your taxes, she ain't gonna get no views for that. But let her do a video with her half naked twerking, 5 million likes.
Yep, guaranteed.
I'm watching too, though. By the way, just letting you know.
I'm just saying.
I'm not above the bullshit.
I'm just saying, like, are we at that level now where we're making our own demons?
Yep. 100% we are. I know that as a content creator, I know if I slap some makeup on my face, you know, and like that full on makeup like all the women do, and did my hair and showed a bunch of cleavage, even just that, and I giggled a lot while talking about whatever it is that I'm speaking about, and occasionally laugh so that way my boobs bounce, I would get like 5 times the amount of subs overnight. I get 5 times the amount of views overnight, no matter what I'm talking about, no matter how long I'm talking about it.
I knew it was a strategy.
Yeah, it's guaranteed. and they don't even care. They'll sit there and watch you on mute if they can't stand your voice. And, you know, it's something that, you know, you can do. You know, it's actually really hard as a female content creator not to fall into that trap and not to want to give into that. Like Lovely T, for example, you know, she's been a content creator for so long, and she built her fan base from nothing so long ago. But, you know, she said it at the end of the day, you know, she used to wear her natural hair like all the time. She didn't care. And sometimes she wore wigs and sometimes whatever. But you know what happened was she was getting so much more of a positive response just from, you know, oh, when she had the full makeup on and hair fully did with whatever. So she started doing it. And now when you watch all of her episodes, she is always fully did. You know, she's got the makeup and the hair and whatever. And you see the results on her videos. People come in and they're more willing to watch.
Well, being a female content creator, Lady Ruby, let me ask you. We all know that, you know, if you get up and you start teaching quantum physics, you won't get much. But like you said, if you get up there and you're half naked and you're twerking and you're showing cleavage and you're smiling and you're acting like an airhead and acting like you're easy, I mean, you couldn't stop the it would probably blow your channel up with all the watches and likes, views you would get. But
Mhm.
let me ask you: do you believe that media is the cause of that, or is that just us? And has media just kind of exposed those dark things about us that always existed? It's just that, because when you think of that, you got to think this way, okay? And I say this to you because you're a female, you're a lady. you
Mhm.
gotta you gotta see that, like I said, if you were on there, giving a talk about psychology or something like that, you wouldn't get a lot. Okay, you wouldn't get a lot of views. But like
Mhm.
if you're up there talking some old ratchet nonsense, you would.
Mhm.
Is it that media has made this way, or do you believe that that is just us? I mean, do you believe that it has just kind of I don't know,
Mhm.
exploded and compounded something in us that was already there, a dark side that we already had in us? It's just that it's easier manifested. It could be manifested much easier now that we have
Right.
access to media.
Right. Well, I think that's one of those questions like what came first, the chicken or the egg? Um, Obviously, if we lived in a society where it was socially unacceptable for women to show their cleavage and, act slutty, and they'd be stoned to death, women wouldn't do that on social media, no matter how many views they'd get, right? It wouldn't be socially acceptable. They wouldn't be accepted back into their communities. They could never get a husband. They could never have friends. So our society says it's okay. And where do we get those messages from, though, right? It's a twofold thing where, yes, people on the streets are acting this way, but when you think about TV shows, when you watch the TV show, so the first time a TV show was allowed to say bitch, and then they were allowed to say fuck. And then they were allowed to show this much cleavage. And then they were allowed to show side boob. And every time they were allowed to go a little bit further, it was a big deal because they weren't allowed to do that. And at that time, it was so racy. And I remember all these things in my lifetime, and I'm only 34 years old. So in the past 34 years, TV went from being something that you would never be able to see a scantily clad woman in kissing a man.
Mm.
It was not something you could see a scantily clad woman, but it would have to be appropriate, like Baywatch, for example, right? She could be running on the beach and whatever, but now if she's going to kiss a man, she'd have to be fully clothed, buttoned up, whatever, right? Whereas in now, they can both be naked, literally simulating sex, and that's perfectly acceptable. We can see even ass crack now, right? So as media shows us these things and says, hey, it's now okay, it's not illegal, and we're going to push it because once they unban this thing, every single TV show does it. Well, now we have access to basically make our own TV, basically make ourselves our own stars. So what are we going to do? We going to sit there and just be like, but you know what? I would rather be chased. No, we are trying to make ourselves into the next Tyra Banks, into the next Naomi Campbell, into the next pinup or sex symbol. And we can't do that unless we're matching what can already be seen, what can already be lusted over, what can already be admired. So, it's one of those things where now at this point, social media and television and TV shows and whatever and regular society, they all kind of have to keep up with each other because now they're all in competition because, we're being deluged with all of this information, especially from television and social media. And, they're going to be feeding each other constantly. And those of us on the outside, just living in our regular lives, we now know if I want to be perceived as beautiful, well, if I don't put on makeup to hide this and I don't show cleavage like this and I don't get padding like this, no one's looking at me anymore because they've seen 10,000 Instagram models that tell them that a woman's body has to be better than mine or my,
Yeah.
my face got to be clearer than this is or whatever.
Wow.
Yeah,
I,
and there's a government component to this too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you think about it, like when Ruby was just talking about when they allowed the word bitch to be, put on, like there's it's coronated. You know what I mean? Like, you know how you talk to people and they like, well, yeah, you can say that now. They say it on TV, don't they? You know, it's like it's affirmed what's on TV, and the TV is what last time I checked was controlled, or checked by the FCC. So the FCC allows what's on the radio, what's on TV. They clear all this shit. They rate it. They give the rating. They got ratings, organizations, and they don't give a fuck what's on, on the tube that's programming your children. They know kids is watching ratchet TV. They know women love gossip and drama. So they put all these goddamn, reality TV shows on, and they know that we got schools getting shot up and people killing people in the street, but they're going to go ahead and put Purge on TV now. Now it's going to be a fucking TV series.
Yep, that's
So
coming
there's
on
a
tonight.
programming going on here that feeds off, the fears and the anxiousness of the people in society. They know white people have racist tendencies, so when it's time to ratchet their racism up, they can easily do that through media. Same thing with black people. They can get us riled up through media. And for a lot of us, especially in the black culture, what's on TV, what we see on, YouTube or what we see on cable, it's that's official. You know what I'm saying? Why would it be there if it's not good? You can go on there and shake your ass and and do what you want to do because now you're getting paid. She getting paid, ain't she? He making money, ain't she? So now it's all good if you see it on the tube, if you see it on TV, and they know this.
Yep.
What kind of society will allow this to happen when you got a drug epidemic going on? You got girls who got low self-esteem. Right now, you have an epidemic of girls being sex trafficking going on in this country. We're not even paying attention to real shit that's going on in our lives. All we watching on TV right now is fighting, cussing Trump, some more fighting, cussing Trump, some more fighting, cussing Trump, and then every now and then,
yep.
Saying a fucking Disney movie. That's it. That's our life. And it's the same thing year in, year out. And if you look at it, think about how much violence they put on TV. It's violence all day. They have made violence romantic. It's like art. You shooting the shots, he flips over the car, he's leaning back, and the bullets are going in slow motion, and the blood is splattering slow. This shit is fucking murder sex. But this is coming from the dominant society. Look at all the scary movies. Every month you're gonna get a new scary movie where grandma and grandpa now are fucking, the evil, monsters. You know what I mean? The nuns are monsters now. You know what I'm saying? They didn't turn wolves into good guys, Dracula into good guys. They didn't turn Lucifer into a good guy and turn the nuns and grandma into horror images. This is what they've done with media. They want you scared of everything all the time. They want you on edge all the time. And all they're doing is punching into your primal fears. And we really got to tap into our mind and think about what we're watching, what we're letting our kids watch, what we react to, what we embellish, what we enjoy. Because that says a lot about us too. If you turn the TV on all day and all you want to do is hear motherfuckers cussing each other out, shitting on each other, what does that say about you?
Exactly.
That you enjoy that all the time. Now, everybody knows Jay Sean's down for the shits. I love to talk shit. But there's limits to it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't sit there and embellish that all day. I can't get no money being like that. I can't be successful being like that. I got other things I need to do. I have to do to be successful in life. And then I'm grown enough where I can play a little bit. You see what I'm saying? The problem is too many people play all goddamn day. Like you said, they can't even get out of bed before they get in. They want to get into the shits before they get in the shower. They want to get on Twitter and see who's talking about. Oh my God, Chris Brown did it again. I mean, they can't even get in the goddamn shower before they get into the bullshit.
Yeah.
On their phone in the car, on their phone at work, on the computer at work. It's ridiculous what's going on, and it's across the board. It's not just black people too. I watch white people; they just into different shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's a constant magnet. This media thing, and I'm really worried about the future of our society because again, there's this skew of what's real and what's not.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this, brother B.MT. You make a lot of content, and I listen to a lot of your stuff, and I listen to the stuff you talk about, and you come from a different slant. I mean, you actually you talk about a few things that I talk about. I mean, because I talk about a lot of different things on TPOT. And one of the reasons why I listen to you is because you cover some of the same subjects that I cover. You talk about things that many people don't talk about. And a lot of the things that you and I talk about they aren't popular. You know, they're not salacious. They're not sexual. They're not derogatory to a particular person or individual, whatever the case may be. So let me ask you, why is it that on your platform you choose to talk about these kind of things? Why do you talk about these subjects, and why aren't you one of the people on here, like Lady Ruby said, you're not one of the people on here talking about a bunch of BS? You actually talk about real things that really matter and really count. Why did you choose to go that route as opposed to going the quote unquote ratchet jackass route?
Boy, Prophet, you know how to hit me in my heart. But it's true. The path that you and I walk is a very lonely path, especially for Black men. We have not written a narrative for us in quite a few years now. And when it comes to these topics, especially like talking about the dark media, politics, food, and school systems and different stuff, it's so easy to talk about the trending stuff. That's everybody. That's what they tell you. Notice somebody's telling you that is relevant. And honestly, that doesn't. We need to be hearing the truth. And to tell the truth, you're not going to be liked. Everybody's not going to accept you. And the stigmatism is people are seeking acceptance. And when you're looking for acceptance in everything, do you truly accept yourself? You see, that's something that I truly had to understand. I tried at one time. I tried. I actually did. I actually did 2 videos. I almost sold myself out. Before I did YouTube, I used to speak on conservative talk radio, 94.3 WSC, Kelly Goldwyn. I was that Black guy that would call in and start a little controversy. I used to get paid for that. And as long as I played the game, views went up. Everything was cool. But then I said, is it worth it? Is it worth it after a while? And I said, I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about stuff that actually matters. White guy shoots up to school. He has a mental problem. Black man shoots another Black man. He's a thug. The narrative that get placed that we just so choose to accept, just like the sister said, if I doll myself up and look like a smut, the world accepts me. I clean myself up, take off the makeup. I start talking about trigonometry and how to fix your damn credit. Anybody want to hear that shit? Us talking about this right now, people are sending you dislikes because you choose to talk about what people are afraid to actually face. And you see, that's a very disingenuous attitude that a lot of these fuckers don't want to talk about. It's like we want change, but as long as we choose not to look at the change and accept it, then it's okay. And I mean that, and that's the thing about it. Like, it's a very hurtful thing. I got tired of goddamn samboing for the niggas. I'm sorry. I hope y'all don't mind me saying that, but I really got tired. And if you say the wrong things, they shut you down. If you say something that's like, if you say something about, here's the thing, like Kanye West put on a MAGA hat, he became relevant. Black people didn't like that. Kanye West started making money again. Kanye West said, I apologize. I don't actually like Trump. Went right down again. You see how they just play that, man? You see, they know when to use you and when to shelf you. And the media does that to a lot of us. You see, you talking about something that's very sensitive, and they're thumbing you down. Like, I ain't never seen this many people thumb one person down in like 30 minutes. Because he's choosing to walk a path that a lot of people don't have the heart to walk. And I applaud you, brother. That's why I fuck with you. But you're going to say something and you're not afraid to offend. If it offends you, that means you need to go look in yourself and check yourself. And that was the thing that's the thing about it. And I get what the sister's saying, and I get what the brother's saying. Back then, if you look at how hip hop used to be back then, we used to talk about self-esteem issues and things going on in the community. Now look at what hip hop has become for Black people: death, destruction, talking down on our women, talking down on the community.
Yeah, it used to be crack is whack. Now they want all
now, back then they say, yo, stay with your crack. Now you got brothers talking about, yo, if you ain't do lean, you don't do crack, you don't punch your bitch, you wrong. You got more than that. I've seen this one movie that my kids are watching. Everybody but the dog was gay. Now I ain't got nothing against gay people. I'm like, God damn, how all the Black people gay and the one white dude, he's normal? I'm like, this is crazy.
B.MT, I gotta tell you something, man. B.E.T. right now is promoting that I Like Women's Now. That dude, they promoting him now. They giving him a special. And of course he's full gay now, but he's full back being gay. But they, I love women's now. They promoting that guy.
The man who got up in the church and said, I love women's now.
Yeah, they giving him a special.
I'm just saying they know how. If you say the message that's not popular, it won't get no play on the radio. It won't get no type of respect. But see, those who understand the message will respect you. That's why I got to get on a lot of Christians. Y'all very hypocritical. I'm a Christian too, so don't worry, I can talk my trash. You'll say that, oh wait, Jesus loved me, but then when it's time to tell the truth, you start getting really quiet, and then you won't speak the truth. You see, that's why it's hard to be genuine. A lot of more people are disingenuine, and they put on these facades of things that they want to be and that they want to hear. And see, when you start saying that, then it's a problem. Black man literally says, listen, Black people, we need to get our shit together. Damn, he a Sambo on the coon. But then you go outside and you look at our neighborhood, you'll be like, what the fuck? Who's going to want to buy a house in this neighborhood?
Exactly. I want to touch on something you said, brother B.MT. You said that, we talk about change, and when you bring up these topics or this content or this material, when you talk about the things that would enact said change, like you said, you're called a Sambo, a coon, a sellout, or this or that, because see, you're not coddling the cult-like commonplace amongst Negroes. See, this is what happens to a lot of us, and I'm a true believer that media has played a part in it. Okay, we have this thing where if we all have this one mind frame, okay, now we can all say, Black Power, Hotep, we want change, we want unity, well, this kind of stuff, right? And there are real measures and steps that will get us there. Now, many of us, we get on here and we talk about those steps. But see, for anything worthwhile to happen, hard decisions have to be made. So when you talk about making those hard decisions to achieve those steps, that's when you're called the coon, a sellout, and all this kind of nonsense. Because see, everybody is in that same cult-like mind frame that it should be easy, that I should be able to smoke crack and still become a millionaire. I should be able to have 7 baby daddies and live in a mansion. I should be able to rob, steal, knock people in the head, rob liquor stores, and still be considered a a positive
Good citizen. Yeah.
contributor
Yeah.
to society. That's stupid. It's stupid.
No, that's
Okay.
media. That's media.
Yes,
That's media. That's
that is media that perpetuates these kind of things, because we have people on media that's pushing these bullshit messages, you know, telling these people that they can be great when these people are doing things that are the antithesis of greatness, telling these people they can be rich when they are the antithesis of prosperity by what they're doing. You understand? So we have media pushing these narratives, and we bought into it. Like I said earlier, media has become our ego. It's become our self-esteem for many of us. That's what it has become, because see, a lot of us just don't have freaking lives once you press the power button on this here gadget. All right. And I know I'm going to make people mad, but I don't give a shit. All right. Because see, unlike a lot of you out there, I actually have a life. I have a family. I have children. I have grandchildren. I have cars. I have house. I have bills. I have a business to run. I have real shit to do. When I cut this off, I do real shit. I don't cut this off and be like, well, I wonder what's going to be going on YouTube tomorrow. I wonder what's going to be going on Facebook tomorrow. I have real shit to do. And I think that's the problem too. A lot of us within Black society don't have enough real shit to do. So this has become the substitute of the real shit. Lady Ruby, you and I, full disclosure, y'all who don't know this, me and Lady Ruby, we have interacted on media for quite some time. She's actually the first female YouTuber that I've ever interacted with. Let me ask you, Lady Ruby, do you believe that, from a woman's perspective, do you believe that media has not only caused us to be coddled and away from accountability and culpability, has it disillusioned us? Has it turned us into these people who live a fantasy? Are many of us so tied into media that our real life doesn't even really matter? Is she still there? I think her mic's muted. Lady Ruby.
You know what? I swear I was actually talking, but I was muted. So my bad. Thank you for that. Yeah, but I would say absolutely, especially the millennial generation. And the thing is because when the technology boom happened, um, the rest of society, so our authority figures, our teachers, our psychologists, our school counselors, all of those people who are normally the ones who are kind of sort of the authorities on life because they've lived it, they've been there, they've done that, they understand it. And so they're there to guide you and help shape you and mold curriculums and mold social outings and so on and so forth to help you develop skills. To be full, whole, well-rounded people in society, they weren't ready for this. Like I said, for the Zennials, nobody even dealt with us anymore. So we were just we're the kind of the lost section where there's this technology boom. There's suddenly an easy button, except we weren't raised to use an easy button. And then suddenly there was only an easy button, and my old skills, all the ones that I've devoted so much of my life being born and raised into knowing I need these things, are suddenly worthless. It's like I've wasted half of my developmental years on nothing. Um, but I think for, especially the younger generations, they've literally been brought into this world and there was nobody there to sit there and realize that, hey, social media isn't actually socializing. And with all these new things that they've added to these things. So, for example, so now little kids have Facebook. That means now online bullying applies to 8-year-olds as well. Now, you would think to yourself, some school psychologists would be prepared to deal with this. Well, obviously they weren't, because what they decided to do, for example, is they started rotating kids. So you wouldn't be with the same 30 kids you used to be with from grades 1 to grade 6. They started rotating kids out of classes so that way you're never really in the same class with the same kids for too long. Now, they thought that this would help break up the little cliques and the little mean girl groups and mean bullying groups that were going on online. Instead, all it did was strengthen these kids' connections to things like Facebook and Instagram and whatever, and it actually hurt their actual social development in real life. It's the same thing where they started breaking up best friends. You're not allowed to have a best friend anymore. This is really happening in grade school. You're not allowed to sit with your best friend or your close friends and so on and so forth. And they think that they're helping everyone be inclusive. Now, what they're doing is they are literally destroying these kids in a developmental sense when it comes to being able to connect to things like accountability. Yeah, bullying's hard. And it's hard when your friends say turn against you. And it's hard when you make a big mistake and all 30 of your friends laugh at you. And it's a lot worse when there's 300 friends and they're laughing at you for it. But at this point now, you don't have any social connections, any real friends, any real support groups that you can turn to, because in real life, they're breaking those things up. So they're not teaching you how to connect with real people and develop long-term and meaningful relationships with people. So eventually, what they've done is they've made it even worse. Now you've got these millennials and Generation Z coming in, and they don't even know what real life accountability looks like. They don't know what it's really like to actually be a whole person. They really think that reality functions a lot like social media does. Right? So you get this name, you create whoever you want to be this week, you put on a bunch of faces, whether it's the makeup and the hair and the this and the that, and you tell people that this is who you are and this is what you're about and whatever, and everyone just believes you, and you just find a little cultish, cliquish kind of group for you to join into and whatever, and you don't even ever have to be a person. And the sad thing is, and this is why we have this stuck generation or two, is they go out into the real world and they realize, oh, wait, that doesn't work. Oh, wait, that's not what jobs are like. That's not what my career path would look like. That's not how you actually get real friends. Oh my God, I have no one to put in my wedding party. Oh my God, I have no one to invite to a birthday party because I invited 500 people on Facebook, but I don't know these people. These are just the people that click like the most on my pictures. And so, and to that effect, you think about their friends lists, they have thousands of friends. I don't know these people. So what are you sharing and what are you getting validation for online? Are you getting validation for anything real, anything meaningful, anything that's actually private, or, a private joy, a private sorrow? Are you really getting those deep, meaningful interactions anywhere? No, because you're not going to share those innermost thoughts with 10,000 people you barely know. So, in essence, what you're teaching yourself is that, you keep everything superficial, you keep everything, trendy, you keep everything now, you make sure that everyone's paying attention to you and you're going to get the most likes and whatever, and you shut your mouth and you don't put anything real online. And you don't sit there and, ebb the flow of conversation because, hey, this is where you want to go with it. You don't sit there and speak out of turn and tell people you think something different or you feel a different way about things, because that's not the way it works. The point in life is for you to fit in. And that works well when you're 8 or 10 years old, which is where these kids' social development often is kind of cut off and they're kind of stuck there. That works great. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to figure out how to fit in with your peer group. But then you're supposed to grow out of that. And towards the end of adolescence, you're supposed to be saying, hey, I no longer want to just conform to the group. I understand the group now. Now I need to figure out who I am within this group. And that's the place where people are kind of stuck in their development. And that's why you're seeing, these keyboard warriors coming on here and spouting a bunch of bullshit that they probably don't believe, that they will never say in real life to anybody ever. and that they would be terrified if you were to actually identify them and send them a personal email saying, hey, I didn't like what you said. They would probably shut down their internet, move houses, whatever, because there is no accountability in their minds. They come online, they become some fake person, and that's it. And that's all that it's about. And again, it's about the likes, it's about the clicks, it's about the views, it's about the click. And click, but I mean CLIQUE. And I think that that's where kind of society has gone wrong, is we need to realize that, hey, these generations have something that we never had. We didn't have these technological eras to contend with. And the way that we're socializing kids, the way that we are kind of molding these kids and shaping these kids has got to be different, because what they're facing is different. And if we're not working really, really hard to socialize them normally, they're not going to have a normal social development at all.
Nope. And
And I mean,
I think we're failing. I think we're failing
Mm-hmm.
these children. I think that what we have done is we've allowed media not only to shape us, but we've also allowed media to shape them. And
Yes.
I don't believe that children are adapted enough to be shaped by media, because a lot of our grown black asses ain't even adapted enough to be shaped by media. So we shouldn't be
Mm-hmm.
allowing children to be shaped by media. Now people will say, "Oh my God, what's X talking about? Media is a great thing." Yeah, I think, but you can always have too much of anything. I mean, I don't think there's no I don't think there's anything that you can have there's no limit to. Okay? You can always have too much of anything except money. You're never gonna get too much
Mm-hmm.
money. But I mean, there can be too much of anything. And I think too much media does thwart us. And I think we get so wrapped into it that we do enter the dark side. I mean, especially when we start getting our feelings wrapped into this damn computer. I mean, something I can pull this laptop down right now and that's it. But
Mm-hmm.
I pull this laptop down, and when I do that, I break into tears. I start yelling. I start screaming. I start going into a panic attack because I didn't have likes. I didn't have views. I got too many dislikes. I mean, that's where I think we lose it at. Why do you think you can be in a live stream and doing something, and you look into this damn chat and you just see all these crazy comments going up, many of them that go up. See, I don't have that going on because, see, I have too many moderators and they are trained to chop heads off with one stupid statement. But, you
Mm-hmm.
look in chat rooms and you see all this crazy stuff going up that has nothing to do with the subject you're talking about, or they're trying to disrespect the person, your guest, trying to disrespect you, all for no reason. All for no reason. Why? Because, like I said before, you have these people who think now, and like Brother Jay Shine was saying earlier, we all got this little television network in our pocket that we can just pull out. And now we're on TV. Now we're television personality. We're psychologists. We are we're we're scientists. We're a
Yeah,
doctor. We're a
yeah.
love
Hi, mom.
guru.
Hi, mom.
Hi, mom. We're all of that now. Okay. And I think that power, or that perceived power that's, in our heads, because it's really not power at all. It's all in our heads. That perceived power, it has damaged us, man. It has damaged us because we as adults, if we have been thwarted by media, like I said before, we've been thwarted by media. What effect is that having on our children? When we are, instead of sitting down with our kids and teach them how to read, write, and count, we plopping them in front of TV, media, while we go and lay in the bed and take selfies and try to get likes on Facebook and Instagram. We're doing that. We're letting media pull us away from what's really important. Because you see, and I don't want to drift off too far, but you see a lot of people, right, who have children. And You see them on there, they're twerking, they're smoking weed in front of their children, they're smoking weed with their children, they're blowing weed in their children's face, and they've got their children twerking, and they're like 4 years old, and they're broadcasting it. You see this stuff. Now, I'm not saying that it would necessarily not happen if we didn't have media. But media, like you said, Lady Ruby, has made this more acceptable. It's acceptable to record your 4-year-old daughter twerking up against a chair while people throw money at her. It's acceptable for your 5-year-old son to be giving you a plethora of profanity while you stream it live, so on and so forth. So it's almost like media has exasperated. That's why I say a lot of this shit, I think, was in many of us before media. It's just that media has made it more acceptable and given us an avenue to kind of broadcast it out to the world where we can, be the star. Even if it's a BS movie, we get to be the star of that movie of our daughter twerking at 4, that movie of our son holding a gun at 3, that movie of our damn mama who's probably 55 years old shaking her ass. It has become that bad. It has become that bad because what it has done, it has allowed us to project the worst of us. The worst of us gets projected. And I think that's truly the dark side. Um, let me ask brother Jay Sean this, because he's the father. Okay, he's a father raising his little girl, on his own by himself. Do you limit the amount of media that your little girl takes in, brother Jay Sean, to kind of
Yeah,
keep her away from the dark side?
yeah. Because what I learned early, man, I didn't notice, but until I was raising a little girl, how mean girls are. Since elementary school, man, these little girls is fucking mean as hell. So my daughter right now, she doesn't have Instagram, she doesn't have Facebook, she doesn't have a Twitter account, she has none of that shit, and she's not gonna be allowed to have any of it until she's, I told her 16 with good grades, we'll talk about it. I'm gonna have to probably back off on that because when we go overseas, she's gonna have to be able to, talk to her mom and other family members. So we're gonna have to find some type of medium where she can do that, where she can FaceTime and all that kind of stuff. But I'll cross that bridge when I get there. But right now, she has none of that. Her friends do. She's in high school, and even in junior high school, all the girls had that already. So she was not involved in that. She saw these little girls at school, and she, you know what? And it was a good thing because when she started exchanging her phone number when she got a cell phone last year, middle school, she started having frenemies, and she started seeing how nasty and how fake other girls were. So I was able to teach her and say, look, imagine if you was on Twitter right now. All that shit you telling me that's going on at school, all that stuff's going on between you and these other girls, and there's other girls going at each other. That's all that's going on the social media. Right now, all them girls is on Facebook doing the same thing, hating on each other, disrespecting each other, talking behind each other's back. That's all they doing. And keep in mind, I talk to my daughter all the time, like, yo, don't sweat none of this shit. They're immature. These are what kids are supposed to do. I told you high school is going to be brutal. I told you high school is going to be whack. So my daughter is learning at a young age a couple of things. One, how to avoid the dumb shit. Two, how to have real relationships, because the relationships she do have with girls at school are not built on social media. They're built on interacting with each other and actually talking to each other. And three, gravitate to people who really fuck with you. She's learning that now at a young age. That you can't be everybody's friend. You know what I'm saying? So um, I don't allow it, and I tell the parents not to do it. The fucked up thing about it is that I'm around a lot of parents, and they don't care. They think, like I had this conversation with my mom. Like my sister. My younger sister, doing a little dance on a YouTube video. So I told my mother about it, and, and my sister blocked me on Facebook because of this shit too. She got mad at me. But anyway, I told my mother about it, and I was like, Ma, just take the shit from her. She was like, nah, that's what they use, and that's what's going on. That's their thing. And I said, no, Ma, that shit is not a fucking guaranteed thing. It's not, this is a privilege. You pay the internet bill in the house. You decide what they on and what they not on. They don't decide that. They children. I got real young sisters. I got one sister that's 16 years younger than me, and then I got one that's 18 years younger than me. So this is a few years ago when they were still teenagers. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, take that shit from them. And it's like this thing with the parents right now. They don't want to take things from their children as if they're not the fucking parents. Man, I'll tell you what, man. I pay the
Mhm.
bills in this house. You do what the fuck I tell you to do in this house. You understand? Ain't no debate. This ain't a goddamn democracy. But that old school way of parenting is gone. And my daughter would tell you, man, I'm not that strict of a father. I give my daughter enough rope to hang herself because I want her to be able to think for herself. But at the same time, I'm not gonna just let her do whatever she want to do too, and just be on everything that everybody else is doing. I don't want her to be a follower. You don't need social media to live. You just don't need it. Now, I believe in
Mhm.
being a grown up. I'm a grown up. I could turn my phone off for a week, what I'm saying, and not do nothing on YouTube, Facebook for a week and be fine. You know what I'm saying? I come from an era where I didn't have this all the time. So like if I'm on YouTube and I become a fan of certain things, and or if I become friends with some people on Facebook or on YouTube, whatever, I can walk away from that situation because it's not reality to me. You see what I'm saying? It's not my real life at the end of the day, you know? And I never lose sight of that. But like Ruby said, these kids growing up now, this is like kind of reality to them. And that's why I think it's so dangerous. It goes back to what I was saying earlier, man. I'm really worried about the future because they don't know how to interact with each other. They're losing social skills, and everybody's living vicariously through each other. So this it's creating a warped reality where people are not even real people. They don't even know how to be real with each other no more. And all that stuff that you're missing in your life. You got lonely people out here who need something. So there's right there waiting for you, just like the devil, just waiting for you. You're lonely? Come on in here. Come on in here. We got
Mhm.
all the action you ever gonna need right here. We got all the gossip, we got all the dirt, all the fighting, all the sex talk. We got all that. Oh, come on in here. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So it's like it there's a lot of good shit on social media. There's a lot of good stuff on media, but like you said, there was a dark side to it because it is most of it is driven to being it's pulling on the primal nature of humanity, that nature of wanting to belong to something, that nature of wanting to be entertained, the nature of just wanting to be satisfied and or just feel good about yourself by shitting on somebody else, looking at somebody else's life fall apart so you can feel good about yourself. All that shit is primal, and saying primal stuff. There's nothing high thinking about it. Like I'm gonna say this last thing. The Sphinx. There's this thing that sits over in Egypt for those who don't know, where there's a man's head on top of an animal's body, and the riddle of the Sphinx is my human intellect rises above my animal nature. That's the riddle of the Sphinx. It's not paganism. It's some real fly, high level thinking shit. You know what I mean? And that's what it means. My human intellect rises above my animal nature because we are animals at the end of the day. And the programmers of the world and our society know this. So a lot of people
Mhm.
think they thinking for themselves and they're not. They're being primal and they running
Mhm.
around being emotional and primal all day. And a lot would say they're not. Yeah, I'm not emotional. I'm this. I'm that. Man, you are being programmed. And you're sheep. And you don't even know it. You're just a big sheep.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And that's really what's happening out here on social media. So I won't allow my daughter to fall into those trappings because even before social media, we had those type of things back in the day too. We had similar things, you know what I mean? We had cliques and social clubs, you know what I'm saying? We had things that were similar. It just wasn't electronic, you know what I'm saying? But we had you go to school, you had the cool kids, you had certain cliques and all that kind of stuff, where people would just gossip and talk about each other, and then you hang with the wrong crowd and you end up getting into some bullshit. That we had that too. We had gangs, we had all kinds of different things. Now it's just everybody's clicking up on social media. I'm over here with this person. I'm over here with that person. I follow this person. I follow that person. I listen to this. I listen to that. I watch this. I watch
Mhm.
that. Every star's got their own fucking hive. Everybody's got a bay hive. You know what I mean? It's just the same old shit. It's just happening a lot easier because of the technology. And what I try to teach my daughter is that, yo, look, you be the flow. You don't go with the flow. You be the flow. I make sure I build up her self esteem. Her self esteem is not tied to being on social media and liking everything everybody else on social media like. So if I let my daughter get on Facebook right now, she'll be in a Facebook group with some of her friends at school, and all they be doing is she be just following what they follow, talking about what they talking about. That's all we're doing when you think about it. When you go on you
Mhm.
Facebook and you see somebody put a comment up and everybody gets in the comment string and that comment string gets like 100 comments, that's all you did. You just followed the comment. You know what I mean? But again, I'm grown enough to do that, say what I got to say, and hop out of it. It doesn't become my life. But for a lot of people, it becomes their life,
Mhm.
and they do it day in, day out, minute in, minute out, hour in, hour out. And I'm worried about the future of our society right now because I just don't see how you can really break it. I really don't, man. People are addicted to this shit, man. They're addicted to drama.
Mhm. Jason, I have a question for you. So you said your daughter is not on any of that social media stuff, but
Hell no.
the way that the world works these days is, she's going to start her own business or, her own, say, blog, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
You need social media these days. It's like your social media presence is your identity. So now the question would be is, at what age are you going to kind of allow her to jump up into this world? And are you going to kind of teach her and kind of mold her and shape her and
Mm-mm.
help her kind of develop into it? Or are you just going to let her go and,
Yeah, I mean, the
help
good
her
thing
after
about it,
she.
the
Mm-hmm,
schools that she's in right now, she's in a real good school, and they do a lot of things online. So, like,
mm-hmm,
she has a Google Class account. You know what I mean? So, the schools give them Google Class accounts, so she can get on YouTube with a Google Class account. But again, it's an underage account, so she can't watch everything that's on there. But
mm-hmm.
she gets to play with it. All her work is
Okay.
done on there. She gets to use certain tools online and all that. So she's aware of it. She sees it. She sees me on it. She sees me on Facebook. She sees me on YouTube. She has a YouTube account. She watches certain things on YouTube. But I do check her phone from time to time to see what she's into. And she's not. It's not gonna be that hard for her because she's in a digital age. She uses computers every day. At school. She uses a computer every day at home. So these
Mm-hmm,
tools are not foreign for her. It's just that she doesn't have a Twitter account. She doesn't have an Instagram account. For what? You know what I mean? And that's a good.
mm-hmm,
And I'm gonna tell you the good thing about that too is that she's not falling to this selfie culture neither. This shit is
mm-hmm,
some narcissistic shit where people are just taking pictures of themselves all fucking day,
mm-hmm.
looking at themselves and then looking at other people, looking at themselves. I don't. This shit is crazy to me. This shit is crazy to me, man. Like I grew up in a different era. Look, B.MT, how old are you, brother?
30. Oh,
You 30?
32.
All right, so
32.
you came from the era. You grew up in the 80s and 90s, right?
Yeah, he's a Zennial like me. Yep.
Okay, so y'all grew up in the 80s and 90s, so y'all was still outside playing. You
Mm-hmm,
know, we didn't get all
Mm-hmm.
this shit until the late 90s, early 2000s, man. We didn't get picture mail to the late 90s. So y'all still know what it means as children to interact with each other, you know what I mean, and actually have social interactions with people. These kids coming today have no social interaction. I had a kid on my block. I'm gonna say this last thing. This is gonna make y'all laugh. There's a young Indian kid. I know he's Indian Pakistani. But his family's from that region in the world, and he's a young kid. I gave him one of my basketballs, and he rides his bike up here and he tells me, well, you can hit me on you got a PlayStation? Yeah, you can hit me on PlayStation. I play Fortnite. And his name, this is a little kid now. His name is Headboard Breaker.
What?
I said, hold
Does
up.
he know what that means?
Yeah, he
Like,
knows what it means.
okay.
This little kid, he
Damn.
was a fucking virgin. His name was Head because he's living vicariously. It's some, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? It's the alter ego. It's something he wants to be. He wants to be that dude. But he's
Mhm.
at a young age, you know what I mean? And already, this is what he wants. So he's naming himself something that he's not. You see what I'm saying?
My.
And I'm
Mm.
looking at him, and I'm giggling in my garage, and I'm looking at him. I'm like, y'all kids is crazy, man. I said, all right, if I get on there, I'll check you out because he was telling me about it. He said it's free, download it, and yeah, you can hit me on there, and my name on there is Headboard Breaker.
Oh,
I was
wow.
like, okay, this little nerdy ass Pakistani kid is Headboard Breaker. Okay, I got you. Yeah. This kid is he's like a junior, he's like a senior in middle school. You know what I mean? So,
Oh
but this
my.
is what's going on out here. But it's no different. It's no different when you go on Facebook. B.MT, you seen it. You seen it.
Mm-hmm.
What's the girls call themselves? You know, goddess this, sweet this. You know what I mean? All these
Yeah.
bullshit names
Yeah.
for a fucking scumbucket bitch. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
That's why I call this a vicarious age.
Yes. Well,
Scum bucket
let me
bitch.
let me follow up on Lady Ruby's question, and I'll pose it to you, brother BMT, because you have children, right? You have kids, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What about you? Are your kids got to be young? I mean, you're only 32. Um, do you censor and monitor like brother Jay Sean does? Do you look through their phones? Do you keep certain things away from them? Do you kind of limit the amount of media that they take in?
Yeah, I have to. My sons, all my sons have Android phones. I didn't think much of it until actually I started just last year, and the messages that him and his friends sending with everything, bang bang, and they'll send gun emojis and different other stuff. They have a whole nother language or lingo of how they talk, and it's very desensitized. Now, my son is only 9 years old, but you'll fool yourself to think that these young kids don't know what you think it is. Again, this is the millennial era where these kids know more than most adults do. The internet age has advanced these kids far beyond what it used to be. I grew up having to go to the library and looking at the card catalog. Some of y'all should know what that is. You don't, shame on you. But that's what I grew up at.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
they don't have to do that. I told my kids to do math. They pull out a calculator. They pull out the phone. I said, use the paper, use a pencil. Why? I said, but I understand. You gotta monetize your children. And that's the thing. We're not doing that. We're not being responsible adults. I got not. I understand why Brother Jay Shine does what he does. I understand that. I understand the responsibility that Sister Ruby has with with her being a female on this type of platform. Other females are watching her, and they're gonna be like, "Hey, like she's doing it, then it should be cool for me to do it." You know, um,
Mhm.
it's a pretty big deprivation. Um, One of the things I like my sons look at the interaction of how to talk to girls. That's what young guys are looking at now. They look online how to interact and socially talk to females. You know, and so I mean, I was gonna enter. I mean, for the most part, I grew up when I came up. I didn't have all this stuff. I didn't. I grew up in the world. It was cruel. I wasn't the prettiest kid. I was an ugly little duckling. I got rejected plenty of times. See, that's something that social media does not teach you. It's a false narrative.
Mhm.
So they make that's why you've seen a lot of these boys online. They either get the whole text message where they are told that the black woman is supposed to serve them, or they get the other one where the woman is God. But there's no real
Mm.
balance. There is no real balance. That's something that we have to learn. You have to learn through trial by error. You have to go out there and feel the sands of life hit you across your face. And as long as you're doing that, you're fine. You're going to fall. That's something that's great about life. You can fall, but you can get back up. And see, that's the thing about it. Social media does not do that to you. It don't teach you shit. Again, that's why I like when you're saying that you got a lot of these self-proclaimed degrees and stuff. Some of the most pro-black people live in a goddamn nice heavenly kingdom white suburbia. You'll see a brother get on there and talk about some damn shit. There was a white professor teaching black people about black people. I was like, God damn, you can only get this shit on the internet. But this is where we're at now. You know, and I like my son was trying. I sat down with my son and them, but I caught them one time watching a porno. It's amazing what these kids do. And I was like, where'd y'all get this from? They showed me the website and everything. Hell, they even knew how to break through the firewalls. I didn't learn that until I got into the military. They already knew how to do that. And that's the thing about the web that a lot of y'all, like the brother was saying with his sister on there. The web will introduce things to the young children and to people that whether you want it or not, either you learn how to monetize and be on them and train them up and teach them responsibility, or they're going to fall doomed to it. And that's something that I'm watching grown people on Facebook, like Prophet's age, argue like teenager girls. Like they're in the like they're Trump and goddamn Hillary Clinton. I'm like, y'all motherfuckers ain't no damn politics. Why the fuck y'all on there arguing? Well, he a Democrat, he a Republican. Who gives a fuck? Go out there and do something with your community since you've got so much energy to argue. I'm watching people do videos of setting their feet on fire. I'm like, what the fuck does that do? But this is where we're at now. And until we get brothers like Jay Sean, who can just cut the shit off, until we start getting more brothers like Prophet who say, yo, y'all, this ain't me. My name is X. This is me. I take off this doggone tie and this shirt, and I put on this doggone grease monkey suit, and I go in there and I fix engines. That's me.
And you know what, B.MT? You know what you're doing? You unplugging from the matrix. See, everybody's plugged into the matrix, even us. But you know what we are? This is Nebuchadnezzar over here. I plug into the matrix every day. I make my money. I do what I need to do. I find out what's going on in the world, and then I unplug from that shit, and I get back to my real life. You know what I mean? Real talk. You know what I mean? That's what I love. That's one thing I really got from that movie, The Matrix. Mm-hmm. You unplug from the Matrix. See, these are the ones that knew something wasn't right. The Matrix wasn't right. This shit ain't right. And you were able to find, and these certain people, these certain individuals, were able to find them and then pull them out of the matrix. And you give them the choice. You give them the red pill or the blue pill. And you choose the red pill. And you got to come out here. It's not cool. It's not going to be a lot of fun out here. You're going to be alone. You're going to be eating porridge every day. But at least you in reality. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it's like, man, on social media. When you dealing with real folk and the people who are really about real shit and talking about real things, it's like being on a Nebuchadnezzar.
You know, let me say this. One thing that we have, us four can say that we can handle rejection. We can handle rejection. Prophet saw 16 dislikes, more than likes. Most people I know would have stopped the feed, said, fuck it, I'm going to bed. But he's still doing the show. Jason said, I get on and do my work. Ruby said, listen, I'm a content creator. I've been writing for Google for a long time, sitting in front of those white folks. Originally, I used to be working in the military, but now I write for white people, and y'all don't understand. Black people, minority, we're down to an algorithm for these people. We are an algorithm now. They know what to market
Damn,
to
say that shit
black
again. We
men.
down to a what?
An algorithm.
I like that. I'm
That
using that.
means that means listen, they put Kaepernick on Nike. How many black people did you start seeing now going out to go get Nike? Nike is made for black men, Hispanic men from ages 10 to 32. Now, as you get older, older blacks, they don't give a shit for all that stuff. They really don't give a they don't give a damn. But they're like, what the hell? As you get older, I need investments. Nike ain't doing shit for me. I need something good for my arches.
Mm-hmm.
See, do y'all not understand the algorithm that they know how to play? You
That's
put
true.
you put a woman, have her wear a certain type of suit, like Cardi B or Nicki Minaj wear that damn suit. Guess what? All the black girls are gonna be, oh shit, that damn. But she that bad bitch, and all the men are checking for her. Let me get that. They know how to play us. And once you know how to play the certain tune to get all the mice to follow you, like I literally had a girl tell me, I don't need affection from a man. I got 6,000 men that watch me every damn night. And all I do is turn on the radio and shake my booty and watch anime.
Yeah,
And I said, you full of shit. She said,
Yeah.
okay, watch. Come to my Instagram, Joe.
Hey, B.MT, you ain't got enough dick to compete with that.
I was like, there's no way I can beat this girl. She literally sat there and watched 3 episodes of a show and ate macaroni and cheese. And everybody was calling her queen. Damn, you're awesome. God, you're sexy. This woman weighs over 300 pounds, and yet she was getting 3,000 likes on Instagram just for eating macaroni and cheese and watching anime. This is where we're at, people. I'm like, y'all watching for an hour and a half, just watch and eat macaroni?
Hey, yo, B.MT, you know what's funny? Like when I was talking about earlier about when they first introduced the TV back in the 60s, back in the day, black people would crowd around or go to the one house in the neighborhood that had a TV to watch real talent. You know what I mean? Like if the Ozzy Brothers was on the, you know what I mean, on one of those old school, you know, classic white shows, or you know, because black people weren't on TV like that. If the Jacksons were performing, we all get, you know what I mean? We'll all gather around. That's what we went from. We went from watching real talent and being proud as black people to what you just described.
Have y'all ever been to a talent show? Have any of y'all ever been to a talent show or seen a talent show like in front of y'all?
I've been personally in a lot of talent shows and watched a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I have.
My neighborhood, because when I was growing up, we all didn't have TVs. So our neighborhood had talent shows. And all the kids would run there to go do a talent, whether it be basketball, where 2 boys would stand on another boy while they all would dribble basketball and take a shot at the basketball goal, or different stuff. We would have the girls get up there and sing, and they'd be like quartets and or trios of girls singing stuff, or we'll have the old lady come up there with her dog and have her dog jump through the hula hoop and stuff. It'd be shit like that. And we took pride in that. I ain't sure if y'all can remember that. I know y'all happy, but that was our good times. Now you look at the internet. Now you see people. I dare y'all. I'm gonna take some gasoline and pour it on me and set myself on fire while I eat dog shit. How many likes I'm gonna get for that? That's what we got.
And
That's
you
what
know
we got
what?
now.
I think the reason why that is, so Jay Shine was saying earlier about, well, you're lonely. Hey, come on in. I can make you feel less lonely. And before social media, when we felt lonely and that loneliness wouldn't end and going shopping with our friends no longer cut it, or trying to go play ball with our friends was no longer cutting it. That's that period of time in, your social development where you need to kind of stop and realize that, you know what, you got to find an identity from within. You got to be able to fill that hole and that loneliness by yourself and be comfortable and actually happy with your own company, sitting in silence with yourself. But now, with the way social media is and this constant connection to the world, if there's nothing interesting on Facebook, there's YouTube. If nothing interesting on YouTube, like you got to return some text messages anyway. Nothing in text messages, you can video call. Can't video call someone? I'm sure you can call someone. You can stay in constant contact. You can fill your space literally 24/7 from the time you are 8, 9, 10, 12 years old. So you never hit that place in development where you can stop and just like yourself, be comfortable with yourself, be comfortable with your own silence, find your own identity and your own sense of self and where you feel you belong in the world based on who you actually are. They never actually stop and do any of that. And I think that's why.
Well, let me ask everybody this. Can it also be that we have this thing with us where we are very easily entertained by the most infinitesimal, unentertaining stuff. And not only that, we are easy to have a propensity to want to entertain. Not only are we easily entertained, we have a propensity where we want to entertain. Because if you take your phone and go on Facebook Live just to sit in front of it and do absolutely nothing, I mean, are you doing it to entertain others or are you doing it to entertain yourself? When you watch somebody's Facebook Live that's sitting there doing nothing, are you doing that to entertain them or are you entertaining yourself? You understand?
Yeah.
I think that's part of the problem. We have
Yeah.
this propensity for being entertained. We use
X.
entertainment to fill in the gaps
Remember, X.
of our personality or something.
Yeah, but X, remember, you born a coon, baby.
Yeah, you're born a coon. Yeah, you're born a coon. So, well, many people will say that I'm freaking a coon. They'd say I'm a coon. Yeah, they would call me a coon too. Meanwhile, I got a black wife, black kids, black grandkids. I only hire black folks, but I'm a coon because I get up here and I say this kind of shit. Oh shit. The master teacher in the house. What's up, master teacher? This is well, let me put this to y'all too. This is a two-part question about the entertainment thing. Also, I want y'all to answer this. Have we gotten so bad with social media that has social media stunted our growth? Have we has it become apparent to not just children, but some of us damn adults?
Yes, it has. It has stunted us. It has stunted us where parents have stopped being the parent. They are now, the roles have reversed. Because back then, the child would seek the parent for knowledge on how to develop. Now you have it where the child is developing without the moral guidelines and instruction tutelage of the doggone parent. We learn from watching the failures and successes of the people around us. Okay. That is what was our key development into why we are. This is why the millennium age is failing. We watch our parents fail. We watch them succeed. We watch the stresses of how our nation was. When it was time for you to learn something, it came before you. When it wasn't time, you didn't get to see it because you weren't at that level yet. I didn't learn about crack until I saw my uncle stumble in the damn house smelling like shit. And before I could see him, my mom stopped me and made me go back upstairs. My grandma and them took him and put him in the shower. Dad and the men had to shower him down. But see, you can see crackheads fights and all that crazy shit. Hell, you see it on the news. There's no more censorship. See, that's what the media is now. The next thing that comes about is let me make sure I got it right. You said about the parents and the children. And what was the second? What was the second part? I want to make sure I got it correctly. I was trying to write it all down.
I had asked that, do we have that propensity to just be entertained and try to entertain others? And also, has media been a parent? Is it raising not only children, but being a parent and raising some of us adults?
It's a lost art. Let me say that. It's a lost art. I get happy when we have hurricanes, storms, and all kind of shit that be knocking out power. I get happy as hell because now all we have to do now is stare at each other, and that truly shows you. Like, if you really want to see, for anybody who's in a relationship, if you really want to see where your relationship is at, turn off y'all shit and just stand there in front of each other without no type of technology, and just see what type of conversation y'all can hold without a phone or any type of social media influence.
Oh shit, I could do that. I'm the king of nonverbal communication.
But hold on now, hold on. You can do that because you've been reared up and raised in that, where you have to go to a woman, confrontate with her, and say, "Hey, this is my ideas. This is your ideas." But see, you got nowadays young men and young women do not know how to do that. Yeah. I got socially rejected by plenty of women.
Yeah.
Before I found my wife.
In all fairness, though, it ain't just about me neither. The girls were different. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, the girls,
they had to come outside.
Yeah, you know, you can chill. They want more chill. You can hang with a chick, talk shit with a chick. Now it's just, it's different.
Listen, they had to come outside. Listen, Prophet of Thought didn't meet his wife on no damn Plenty of Fish. Prophet of Thought probably met his wife probably at some barbecue or someplace, say, "Hey, I like her," but I can't just send her a text. I got to go over there and actually talk to her.
Yeah.
My woman, it took me 2 years to get a kiss. One kiss, 2 years of constantly getting rejected.
And your attention mattered more than the attention of some strangers she never met on the internet. You know what I mean? So it's weird, man. Like right now, that void is being filled up by people, by eyeballs and comments of people they don't even fucking know.
Mm-hmm.
And that's becoming okay. And the truth of the matter is, it's not really fulfilling nobody.
Nope.
That's why I think it's dangerous. That's why everybody's so on edge and they're acting out, because there's a lot of unresolved shit going on with them. And this new culture that we live in, you can't fulfill none of it. You can't get fulfilled with this fake culture, this internet culture, talking to people only on the internet, only, you know, getting likes and, you know, good comments. And then you think about it. You only want the good comments. Anybody give you anything critical, you fucking lose it.
Mm-hmm.
You ready to shoot up a school. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, your feelings are hurt.
Yeah, you can't give a real opinion. You give it somebody. Matter of fact, you don't even got to talk directly to anybody. If you just give an opinion that differs from the person that you're on the comment string with, they go crazy.
Because you know? all that stuff is empty, man. I mean, you know, like I said earlier tonight, I mean, if you're looking for the answers inside of likes and emojis with smiling faces on them, that means that your problem is much greater than that. Okay, if that's the only thing that makes your day is getting a smiley face emoji that's wearing shades, I feel for you, because you have a greater problem. Your issues are much greater than social media. You know, because I don't believe social media has all the answers. See, that's where I think the problem is. I mean, can some questions be answered on media? Of course they can. But I don't think social media has all the answers. And once we get to a point where we think it has all the answers, we're gone.
And you know what makes it worse, X, is that being black people, like, they should never give niggas YouTube. You know what I'm saying? I say that shit all the time. They should never give you niggas YouTube.
They should have never given black people social media, period.
Yeah, and the reason I say that, you know, B.MT and Ruby, I got this thing where I'm saying you're born a coon. And what I mean by that is that is the default condition for every black human being born in this society. You know what I mean? You're born into a society that makes you a coon. To be non-coonish, you have to grow. You have to get knowledge. Most of that knowledge, you got to get outside of your own fucking parents. You have
Yep.
to get knowledge of self. You got to read. You got to find other things. You got to be curious about the world, and then you got to find who you are, and then somehow attach yourself to your lineage. All right, that's how you got. That's how you got to get away from being a coon. So the default for Black Americans is cooning,
It's cooning.
performing, acting out. Always, you know how we are. We perform all the time. Look how we talk to each other. Hands all over the place. It's performing. It's built into us. It's been going on since the goddamn, the plantation. When you were performing all the time. Yes, master. I'm happy. You ain't happy. Your fucking back hurt like shit. But you gotta perform. Here come master. And everybody starts doing the fucking dancing the jig. And that carried on throughout Jim Crow. And think about it. Our whole culture is built on it. All the music, all the acting is built in escapism. The blues, gospel, jazz, all of it's escapism from our reality in this fucking hellhole that we in. You know what I mean? And then you look at the first movies. What were we doing? We was up there cooning, eyes bulging out our heads, looking crazy. In them old movies being entertainment for white folk. This is our culture. Our culture is cooning, performing, being fake. And then you're gonna give us fucking social media where you can put a goddamn skin over our face and some what's that shit called? Where they the filters and all that. Oh my God, niggas is gone.
Yeah.
Niggas is insane right now. They don't know who the fuck they are. Walking around here with blue and purple hair and blonde wigs, and niggas walking around here with fucking. I saw a nigga with Eminem barrettes in his hair the other day.
Wow.
In DC. Tattoos on their face,
What?
ass hanging out. I mean, we're lost.
Oh my God.
That's how
And
it
you know
It's crazy.
Well, let me ask you this, Lady Ruby. Who do you think media has affected the most within Black society? You think it's affected the men most, or has it affected the dark side of media, I should say? Do you think that it has affected men more, or has it affected you ladies more?
I hate the fact that I sound like someone who hedges all the time by saying this, but I see the problem is on one side, you've got when it comes to the performing, you know what I mean? And it comes to the, that cooning, cooning and buffooning kind of stuff where we're always performing. We think that we're just, that's what our worth is. We sit there and dance online, do the stupid, ridiculous shit and every little trend and, get your kids to do things. What would you do for the D and what would you do for the P? You got little 5-year-olds saying ridiculous shit like that and whatever. And like you got men who on that side, definitely are falling victim. I would say a little bit more. On the other side, the one where you know what you're willing to sell your soul, damn near destroy your soul, all for a bunch of random people you don't know to tell you you're attractive, to tell you you're beautiful, to tell you you're the queen, to make it to the top of a social circle of, that you couldn't achieve in real life. People literally dying to get, Kim Kardashian's ass and allowing people to inject God knows what it directly into their bottoms, directly into their breasts, whatever, because they can't afford, legit surgeries. I mean, those are things that you're hearing women fall prey to more, right? So I think that it's impacting our demographics differently. I'll say one way or the other, though. If you look at it, the people that it's impacting the worst are the youth. I wouldn't break this up by gender. I'd break this up by age, and I'd break it up by demographic. And that is to say that, the ones who are middle class and lower, especially lower middle class, the ones who are watching, parents struggle to work 3 different jobs and still have no benefits and, never are home. And the ones who have parents who, got wiped out basically by the crack era, or in jail or whatever. Those are the demographics that are going to be especially um, are more likely to fall prey to these types of things and to the dark side of social media because not only does the younger generation in general, they don't have parentage when it comes to these things because their parents didn't have a technology culture passed down to them, which was then, they are able to pass down. So the culture that they're passing down to their kids is useless in the 21st century in this new technological boom era. So, the people who are parenting them are just as lost as they are. And on top of that, they don't have even just that useless culture, that culture that only applies to so little of life that seems almost irrelevant, especially when you're younger and you're trying to find your place in the world. So what are they doing? They're trying to, be that one in 10,000 who gets to be a stripper who gets to sleep with whatever NBA star and gets alimony or whatever, or a child support check out of it and gets a little bit of fame. And who cares if she has to be a porn star first and everyone knows that she's famous for being a whore because, hey, Amber Rose made that cool. And so when we're seeing it, it's like, I feel like a lot of it is because I'm a woman, I'm so in tune with what I'm seeing happen to women. My instinct is to say women. Women are overall, with the overall dark side, I would say women, but I will definitely say overall, I do think it's the youth, and I think it's still really impacting our men pretty deeply.
Hmm. Well, being that there are three men on here tonight, let me ask the brothers: have you found yourself caught up? Because I know I have. I know I have. Have you found yourself caught up in the dark side of media? Have you found yourself caught up into media so much that you've entered the dark side at points?
Yeah, yeah, I have. I mean, shit.
I mean, you counting Pornhub?
No,
No, that'll
I'm not.
that's a
I'm
getaway.
not,
That's a
I'm not
getaway.
talking about what you do on your leisure time.
I mean,
I'm
shit.
talking about
I'm
have
known
you
to. I'm
have
known
you
to
been
grace
yourself?
pages of World Star Hip Hop from time to time.
Well, when I think about, well, I guess that's a different part of the dark side. But
Yeah, that's crazy.
when I talk about the dark side, have you found yourself so enthralled in something that's going on in media
I think.
that
I
you
think
found yourself beside yourself,
I think.
even
Well,
if temporarily?
I think but I do it for the right reasons. Like for instance, when I be on Facebook, I'm a soldier. And I can probably show you. I keep screenshots of all this shit too. I get into it, motherfuckers on Facebook. So, but I do it on purpose though. You see what I'm saying? It's not like that I'm really caught up. So I really can't say yes because I go into certain topics, and especially I'm a defender of black men. And when we getting shit on, I gotta go. I gotta go at it. Like I just went at it with three sisters the other day. They were trying to tag team me, and I gave them that work. You know, but I mean, I'm like, I'm up for the shits, man. From time to time, I find it entertaining, but on some level, though, I think it's necessary for us to enter. Like I said, it's plugging into the matrix, right? I go into the matrix to handle certain things. I go into the matrix. I don't live there, but some crosses my, I got time and I got the energy, and some crosses my screen. You know, I might indulge. I'm like, you know what? They talking crazy over here. I'm gonna go in here and talk some shit with them. You know what I mean? But I'm an adult, so I'm actually the wrong person to ask because there's a lot of motherfuckers who really get caught up in this shit, and I don't. I do it for the fuck of it, and that's it. Now I will say I've had certain platforms that I were on, and I got maybe too deep into those. You know what I'm saying? But you live and you learn, right? But I think the only way you can really sit here and say what something is if what I mean, you do it. It's like kind of like narcotics. They know bad drugs from good drugs because they took them before. You know what I'm saying? They can go in, taste the drugs on their tongue and tell you if it's pure or not. Some might go as far as sniffing it and telling you if it's pure or not. So you have to indulge somewhat to know what's what, right? So I got my scars, man. I go on, YouTube, and I've been on certain platforms, and I gotten too deep into that shit. Same thing on Facebook, but I lived in and I learned. But I got a real life though. So fortunately for me, I have a real life. Some people don't, and I think that contributes to them getting caught up on these social media sites. People don't. A lot of people out here ain't got fucking nothing to do. Even people who got jobs, they got regular 9 to 5s. They come home, they get back into the bullshit. They don't have a real job. They got maybe a filing job. They filing papers all day. They might go to a meeting here and there. They don't really have any real, job that requires a lot of energy and thought. So they go to work, they come home, and they get right on social media. Some of them on social media while they're at work. You see what I'm saying? Because they don't have no real life. They sharing a man. If I'm talking about a female, let's be real. A lot of these sisters out here sharing men. They like to play like they good to go, but they're a single mom and they sharing a man. So they don't have no real man at the house. They don't have no real family at the house. So they don't have a lot going on. And they got nothing but this escapism. And now the new escapism is no longer the soap opera. It's social media. I'm seeing the same thing happen with brothers. We used to watch sports all the time and go play sports all the time. Now you got motherfuckers sitting on the internet arguing with each other, arguing with women, you know what I mean? Gossiping like women.
Yeah.
And it's a form of escapism, and it's easy, it's cheap, it costs nothing. You just get on your phone and you get right into it. So it fills that same gap that you would have to go work for. Like, you know what I mean? If I was to go play ball, like me and you and B.MT, we're going to play ball, right? There's interactions there. There's a relationship there. We don't just get on the court, don't say nothing to each other and play ball. We talk to each other. Maybe some shit talking, might even get into a scuffle, patch that shit up, go drink some beer. This interaction. You see what I'm saying? And you got to work for that interaction. You got to maintain those relationships.
Yep.
You don't got to do none of that shit on social media. It's easy. You go in there, you act like you something you're not.
Say a bunch of bullshit, and
exactly.
that's it.
You know what I mean? And
do
then it fills that
tomorrow.
void that you should have to earn. You should have to earn relationships, man. If me and you are friends and we go out from time to time, for me to call you a friend, I should have to earn your friendship.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Same thing with Ruby. Me and Ruby are friends. I should have to earn that moniker. We just not. How you gonna just be friends? I press a button and talk to you from time to time, and that's it. There's got to be some other things that go on between me and that person to consider themselves friends. You know what I mean? And usually friends do things together too. They have something in common. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's a lot being lost right now with social media, where the only thing people really have in common is drama.
Yep. And I'm your friend just because I'm on your Facebook page. See, that's
and we're on the same side too. So we agree. Yeah. You agree with me, right? You agree with me, right? Ain't I pretty? Ain't I pretty? You agree with me, right? Right?
Ain't this other person stupid? Ain't this other person a coon? Ain't this other person a Sambo?
If not, block. And then you know what? Soon it's just you have more and more people on that page with you sitting there and saying, yeah, of course you're beautiful. You're the most beautiful. And you don't care that you blocked 1,000 people to have only 500 people in the chat telling you how beautiful you are. It doesn't matter, because all you're getting is positive reinforcement, and you don't care that that's not a real message. It's not a real perspective. You just care that people are praising you, and that's about it.
Yeah, we become addicted to echo chambers.
I'm gonna ask y'all a question. Have y'all seen that video that went viral a few years ago? I don't know if y'all seen it. It was a brother who had a house, and then right next door to him was this abandoned house, and these Latinos, bought it, and then the Latino that bought it, all his friends came over together, and like in one day they fixed it up, and he's sitting on the phone recording it, looking through the blinds, like, yo, you see this shit? Look how these motherfuckers getting together. And then when they finished that night, they sat out there with the car lights on, drinking beer, laughing with each other. And then the brother was watching the shit, and while he was watching and reporting it back on the live stream, he started crying. And the reason why that brother started crying, I'm gonna tell you why he started crying. Because he know he doesn't have that as a black man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
see what I'm saying? That's a real relationship right there. I can call 5 or 6 of my homies and we fix my house up.
Mm-hmm.
Then we sit outside, sweaty and shit, drinking beers, talking shit to each other, making fun of one of the funniest motherfuckers in the crew, and then we go home and we fuck our wives. That's real camaraderie.
That's real socializing. That's socializing. See, we have substituted that for this gadget here. Yeah, we've substituted it. And the crazy thing is, it's like we don't even realize it. We act like this is that. Yeah, we act like this is us calling 5 people to get together and we all sit out on the backyard and drink beer. We actually think that this is us all sitting together, working on a house, working on a car, playing ball together. We have actually substituted this mentally, and we go about it as if it's that, as if it's us getting together, as if it's us in the backyard drinking a few beers or going to play ball or whatever you want to do. We really think that's what it is because in our mind, that's what it's become. When we flip this computer open, that's just like going to somebody's house or they're coming to your house. And you would think that with that, fine, people want to think that. With people thinking that, you would think that if this has been substituted for socializing, there would be way more civility on it. But it's not.
No. And it's even deeper, X. It's even deeper, X, is that a lot of people who agree with each other online probably wouldn't get along with each other in person.
Exactly. They
probably wouldn't have. They wouldn't have all that agreeing with each other online, agreeing each other in the chat room, or agreeing. You know what I'm saying? Just being cliquish. They wouldn't even get along with each other in real life.
Nope. Because a lot of the people that are that freaking, they're giving you the bobblehead on every daggone subject. If you were around those people for a day, a lot of y'all wouldn't even get along. Y'all wouldn't even get along, man.
Yeah, like I couldn't stand George Bush.
Yeah.
But I bet you me and him, that motherfucker hang out.
Let me tell you something.
Because I'm a dude and he's a dude.
You know what, man? A lot of times I think because media allows a lot of false narratives, I think a lot of people that sit up there and be part of the echo chamber, I think they're doing it just to freaking be accepted with the crowd. I think they agree with a lot of other shit, even at times when they don't really believe it. But they know if they become that dissenting voice, that voice that goes against the grain, they may find themselves.
And you know what? It's just like what I talked about earlier.
Of the crew.
It's like we had that shit back in the day when we had the cool kids and certain cliques. You know what I'm saying? We've always had that. Now it's just gotten worse because of social media. And I don't think it can be fixed. I really don't, because like you said, and I think Ruby brought it up the same point. These kids coming up today, man, they don't have nothing. They didn't even have the childhood y'all had. They didn't even have the childhood that Ruby and B.MT had, X.
Nope.
This is all they had. This is all they know.
They're not socialized, man, or civilized. Not only are they not socialized, man, a lot of people who have been raised by media, they're not even civilized, man. If you was
what though?
Go ahead, lady.
Sorry, I'm just gonna say, if you look at it though, and I can't remember who brought it up earlier, people and what we're seeing on social media, it's instinctual. These are not new things that are happening. People aren't behaving differently or out of sorts or away from human nature. We are programmed to be a certain way. And so no matter what new planet you put us on, no matter what new ways of socializing you give us, we're just going to take those things, those kind of automatic ways that we are meant to be as men and as women, and we're going to transfer that socialization onto this new way of communicating, onto this new planet, whatever it is. So when you think about women, for example, women, how do they compete? How did they compete 10,000 years ago? It was via their looks. And how did they fight? Because obviously you can't just change your genetics magically. A lot of it was through gossip. Yes, through adornment and trying to care for yourself and so on and so forth, but also through gossip.
Yeah, facts.
Right? And so what do you see women doing 10,000 years later? Gossip. That's how they fight. They fight to be queen bee. They fight to be the most beautiful. And they gossip and try to tear other women who threaten to be at the same level or above them, try to gossip to try to bring them down a few notches, right? Because at the end of the day, that's how women compete. So what do you see on social media? Instead of it happening only in your little class of 30 people, or maybe only in your little high school, or maybe only in your little town, it's happening across, 10 million people. now. So now it's completely different. It's massive. It's on this massive scale. It's on a scale that we don't know how to measure yet, but it's still the exact same underlying behaviors and behavior patterns. Now, the thing that's interesting, like with men, for example, so with men, what they would do is the way that they battled, things were just in a hierarchy. They don't battle constantly the way women do, consistently all the time. Men would battle, and once the battles were done, the hierarchy said it is what it is. If someone had a problem with the hierarchy, they would try to, maybe fight the leader, and either they die in that battle, and if
Yep.
they don't die in that battle, they go break off, branch off, and go start their own tribe because they can't be part of this one anymore.
Right.
There's too much
Exactly.
dissension now, right?
Exactly.
So what
Or
are
they
you
or
seeing
they
on
go
YouTube?
nomad. Yeah.
Exactly. So what are you seeing on YouTube? You're seeing the exact same things happening where, hey, there's say 4, 5, 6 people now, and they all want to be the leader. They all want to be top dog. And so they're
Yeah.
gonna battle it out. They're gonna start, and
But
unfortunately,
see, here's the
because
problem. Here's the problem with that, Ruby.
mm,
But men can't do that. You know what I'm saying? They're doing it, and they shouldn't be doing it because there's some people who talk crazy on the
mhm,
internet, and we know they wouldn't talk like that in my face. Like I got into it with a certain
mhm,
person on YouTube. I think you was probably on that stream when I got into it with Obsidian. He wouldn't talk to me like that in my face.
mm-mm, nope,
He wouldn't do that. So now we got a
nope,
bunch of grown men talking crazy to each other on the internet.
yep.
And I'm old
And they're
school. Like
breaking
if you talk
off.
like that to my face, we wouldn't talk to each other like because we know there's a present danger. There's a clear present danger there when you talking to another grown man a certain way. All right. So if
Exactly.
you're gonna do that, then you must be ready to fight. You see what I'm
Exactly.
saying? If
And
you're
that's
doing
the
that. If I talk
problem.
crazy to another grown man to his face, that means I got probably one of my fists already balled up.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You
And
see what I'm
and
saying?
that the problem is that women's fighting style translates very well onto something like social media. Men's fighting style and way of resolving these issues in the hierarchy doesn't translate onto social media. So the only thing they can use are words and gossip and whatever. And that's where, like you said, that's where it breaks down for men. Because now what you're having is a bunch of people not being put into the hierarchy where they actually belong, breaking off, starting their own sex like they were always an alpha or they were a top dog, and a bunch of people who would have been way at the bottom of the totem pole jumping on that bandwagon so that way they can feel like they were alphas as well, and they're following an alpha and all of that bullshit. So nothing is correcting male behavior, keeping male behavior in line or on code online because like you said, if this was a real life battle, the way that men are programmed to be, that's physical aggression now. Now, you want to talk to me that way? You want to challenge my spot? All right, let's go.
Oh yeah.
And how do you do that in real life? So what are they using? They're using words. They're using basically what women use, words as weapons, gossip as weapons, and men weren't made to battle that way. And that's where I think, yeah, there's a major breakdown for men, and that's why the dark side of YouTube and this dark side of social media in general is coming out for men. How do they properly battle? How do they properly keep men who really are on code, men who really are alphas, how do they really assert that against the men who are not? They can't. Because how? This is just a random keyboard warrior,
There is
a
no
nameless, faceless person.
consequences. Media has caused there to be no consequences for whatever you do. You can
Mm-hmm.
say anything to anyone, do anything to anyone. You can say the most outrageous, disrespectful stuff to someone, and guess what? Nothing happens. Yeah, nothing
Mm-hmm.
happens. And you can do it to not one person, you can do it to 100 people, 1,000 people, 1 million people. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? Because what
Mm-hmm.
are the chances of somebody actually pulling up to your house? So you can continue to do it because there is no consequences. And people know
Mm-hmm.
that going in. They know that going in. So whatever they feel like they want to do, there is no honor, there is no integrity. And I think that is the true dark side of media because it's that one part, it's that one segment of life where there is no consequences for your actions, your words, none of that. There's no consequences. There's no repercussions. There's no one saying, hey, man, what the hell? No one can confront you. I mean, they can confront you on this. They can confront you on here. They can do that. But that's not really a consequence now, is it? Because you can just turn it off. That's what has happened. The dark side of media has made it so that our own inner demons, our own inner negative aspects, we can utilize them as much as we want, and we can just click them with a button. All it takes is a button, and that's it. I don't even, you can't even see me anymore if I don't want you to. I can mute my mic so you can't hear me anymore. Everything is the click of a button, the click of a mouse, the touch of a keyboard. And I think that that has weakened us. That is the true thing that I think has happened with media, especially with us black folks. I think that it has weakened us, and it has made us, not only it has helped us in a way, but it has weakened us as well, because it has made us not only, like I said, unsocialized, it's also made us uncivilized, and it's also made us a little impersonal. And I think that's where the dark side truly comes in, because everything is very impersonal. There's nothing personal about any type of interaction really on media. And I think we like it that way, especially those of us who don't really, like Brother Jay Shine said, they don't really have a life. They don't really have a wife or a husband or children or family or career or a house or a car or money. See, once you get up here and grab one of these and turn this camera on, you can be anybody you want. Something you can't do in real life, because see, in real life, no matter who you try to be, when you look in that mirror, you're only going to see one person, who you really are.
Hey, can I ask B.MT a question?
Go ahead, Brother Jay Shine.
Hey, B.MT, actually, let me ask you two questions, brother. What part of the country are you in?
Oh, I'm in South Carolina.
South Carolina.
I knew it.
And,
where you at? You are you close to you ain't got to tell people where you live at, but are you in
I'm not worried about that.
You in the northern part of South
council.
Carolina?
Huh?
You in the north part of South Carolina?
No, south. I'm in Geechee Gullah.
Oh, you down there.
That should be very much easier if y'all figure that out.
Yeah. How many kids you got?
I got 4.
Shit. How old is that? How old is it?
9. I got 9. One's gonna be 8, and the twins are 5. I done traveled the world. I traveled the world 3 times. Ex-military. I own my own company.
What branch?
City council. Army.
I was Army too.
So I mean, like I said, before we even got on here with Prophet and Ruby, like my guys, they just now clocking out. They just now say, "Well, we're going home." Said, "Okay, I'll go close up." Like this to me is just my pastime. I'm a conservative. I'm a black Republican. I get called coon, Sambo.
Of course you do.
I get called Tom. I get called all that good shit. Honestly, it doesn't even bother me. Half the time, I tell this to black people, like, you talk good shit, but half of y'all can't do shit. And I'll say that to y'all, and I dare people to back it up. The reason why I say that is because we talk a lot, and honestly, since we took in social media, we become very docile. In other words, we don't go out and do anything. And I'm gonna tell you right now, our brown counterparts, they understood that, hey, those Negroes, they stopped. Once they put this in front of us, they stopped going outside. They stopped trying to compete.
Yeah.
And guess what the Browns started doing? They took our place. And now, guess what they are? Now they're the second. And they understand they're not going to stop. They're not going to give it up. As long as they throw some type of social media thing or give a girl a Twitter thing or anything. I mean, shit, look at most of the shows that we got now. Black Ink Crew, Love and Hip Hop, housewives, and all this other shit that we get.
Yeah.
Nothing functional for a black person.
Yeah.
Every Tyler Perry movie has made fun of black women. I'm sorry, I have not seen that one Tyler Perry movie say anything good about black women. Black man cheating, black woman broken, and let's throw grits on them. And Medea preaches the Bible and she twerks. But now he's a billionaire.
Let me ask you a question, BMT. So, what's worse though? The people who create this content or the people who love it?
Exactly. It's feeding a beast, man.
I'm so on the fence with
that
shit,
content
man.
is feeding a beast.
Here's the thing. I'm gonna say right here. What made Hitler more? Hitler or the people that followed Hitler?
Damn, I have to say the people that followed him.
Okay, then. Think about this.
That's where his power came from.
When you get behind on this mic and this camera, let me tell you that this is when people start burning out. When nobody's viewing them, they have no power.
Exactly.
They have no power. Your voice has no voice if nobody's is there to listen to it.
Yeah.
Y'all never seen The Exorcist?
Right now, we're in an age right now where, like, for instance, this is why I asked this question. Because Tyler Perry, he started a studio. He bought 2/3 of Fort McPherson, turned that shit into a studio, and he's trying to keep people employed. He put out good movies like, A Family That Prays Together, and there's another movie he put out. But that wasn't his highest grossing movies. His highest grossing movies is the buffoonery. And he talked about this. You know what I mean? I got to make the money. I got to pay bills. And I think that's where him and Spike Lee, because Spike Lee was coming, getting at him tomorrow, it was buffoonery. But then he met him down at his house in Georgia. And I know what that conversation was about. Now him and Tyler Perry's cool. He understands why Tyler has to do what he has to do. So I'm not really mad at Tyler no more. It's like
I'm not mad at Tyler.
They just want to consume fuckery.
Yeah.
I'm not
feeding the beast, man.
If it's anything deep or thoughtful, man, they don't want to hear it. Think about it. Remember that movie Temptation that he put out? Remember the commercials for it? It was all about the sexy shit, the seduction stuff, her getting thrown against the window, the wall in the shower, and her cheating on her man, right? Then you watch the movie, nothing turns out good for her. She ends up with AIDS and shit. Guess what? That's not his #1 rented movie no more. He made a lot of money because he got women to come to the theater because they thought they was going to get something else.
Once they saw how that shit turned out, they're like, "Oh man, this is a horrible ending."
Exactly. He had to trick them.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. Like, so what's worse? The people creating the content or us? The ones consuming it, demanding it.
Let me tell you why. Let me just tell you why. Listen. If I had got on YouTube around the era when it was easy for black men to talk shit about black women and do all these reactions and all this other buffoonery coon shit, if I literally had got on and just do that stuff, I can get on YouTube right now and do all these fucking videos about fucking hotep shit. Black women problem is the black man. If I were to honestly put on the best Samboing show for y'all, I promise you, I will blow the fuck up. If I were to go get my wife and tell her to make a YouTube video of her showing cleavage and all that, I promise you she would blow up. We did it. I wanted to prove something. But as long as I play this prophet of thought type of mindset where we say what needs to be said and we walk this type of line, nobody's going to fuck with me. Nobody's going to watch me. I get people who subscribe to me but don't even fucking view me like that. But until I actually say a message that they're like, oh, hey, you know who watches me more? White people watch me more than black people. White people watch me more. My content and Prophet will tell you it's for black men. Is it not, Prophet?
Yeah, it's true. Very true.
White people watch me. White people watch. You know why white people watch me? Because they say, you know what? Niggas will never get it, what you talk about. And because they never get it, they're not a threat to us. The Waffle House shooter is going to get the crazy plea. The Waffle House, I want y'all to think about that. Every person in white media that has done something crazy has gotten some type of plea deal to get the fuck off.
Yeah, it's the power of media, man.
Now listen.
The narrative.
I want you to understand this. Every time a black person does something, they're straight up criminal. These girls have already been hit with over $100,000, even though what they did was fucked up and wrong. They've already been criminalized, vandalized. Not saying I agree with them, but I'm a parent. They get what they get. But you gotta understand this. Social media has no love for your black ass. I want y'all to hear me say this shit. Take this from me as a black man that's been doing this game. I played the game for the military. Played the game for the conservative party. Y'all can call me a rhino and a seller. I don't give a fuck. You don't pay me. Social media does not give a fuck for y'all black asses.
Damn sure don't.
Until y'all get that in y'all mind. This is why a lot of us can do what we do and people will fuck with us. Because we already understand that this shit will never make us. It never will. Martin Luther King understood that, hey, oh, there's a camera on us. Oh, what should we do, Martin? Let them record us. Good. So when they beat us, and hopefully there'll be some young child going to say, this is what we went through.
True.
Now you got it where motherfuckers are trying to get, they make videos of them beating on cops. I'm like, damn, nigga, we went backwards. But this is what they want now. I'm like, it's just not, it's like, you can't win. That's why nowadays, I was gonna do a video just yet, but it must be put in Prophet's theory. I said, this is why I can't fuck with you niggas. I was gonna do a video tomorrow about that. They don't want us to marry black women. They don't want us. They say they're not marketable. They don't want black men to show. They don't ever show a successful black man that's just doing his job. He always got to do some type of entertainment or sample. There's no Brother Shines or prophets who actually own their own business. I've never seen a show or any type of game of a man showing it on YouTube that he's doing his own damn thing. I've never seen a black man put that out. Not openly. And if they do put it out there, he's probably only gonna have like 10 or 100 subscribers. Why is it? Y'all can't say I'm making this shit up.
No,
that's facts.
That's what we have. Well, we about to close out the show, so I'm gonna close out with the guest of honor. Any final thoughts before we peel out of here?
Yeah, I think the thing is that it's just, again, recognizing, and honestly, they are actually doing research on this now, and they are recognizing the error of their ways. They're understanding now that, especially with our youth, the younger children, so we're talking about grades, kindergarten. They started all these ridiculous policies about you can't have a best friend and you can't sit with your regular group of friends every day or every week, or just ridiculous things like that, and continued it to the end of high school. And, they're doing studies now, and the results are coming out now saying, hey, you know what? We fucked up. We're not socializing our children properly. And, when you put these things that we put into effect with the no bullying policies that we've had, if anything, it is making the online issues that we have. So, the online bullying, these kids who are using Facebook, especially, I think it is, or maybe it's Instagram. I can't remember because I don't really do social media that much. I just found social media within the past couple of years, except to like kind of promo my blog back in the days. But yeah, and they were using these platforms to commit suicide on. Because they felt so invisible and so unloved and so irrelevant because, they're not getting this proper socialization and proper socialization reinforcement at school. If anything, the bonds that they had started building for those who are already socially awkward and already not ones who are going to be able to just jump in and blend in with the group right away and whatever, they were breaking apart those friendships. Forcing these kids to basically go through something that's really painful and difficult for them so many times that eventually they just stop. Online, they're not getting the validation, and that's all they know, and that's all they hear about is if you're liked, you get likes and follows and shares and friends and friend requests, and they're not getting anything. No one's poked them or waved at them or whatever. It's the only way they feel that they can be relevant. Hey, I'm going to kill myself. Watch this video. And it's the only time in their lives, and they get to say, hey, listen, you guys get to bear witness at least to my pain, bear witness at least to my death. And that's the level that social media has gone to. And this is why I keep going back to our youth. Because at the end of the day, like I said, there's some dysfunction as far as the socialization, with the adults, sure. But if you go back 10,000 years and you just look at basic socialization 101, everyone is socializing the way that they normally do. It's just we have never seen it on this type of massive scale. We've never been able to see it this constantly with so many different people and really observe it. But with our youth, this is where we've got to stop. We've got to start now with the youth and realize that this technological boom, this thing that we threw them into, and it's like they take to it. It's so easy for them, right? They just pick up computers like this. My godson was staring at YouTube videos on a phone at 6 months, and he was a preemie. And by the time he was 4 or 5, he could figure out how to find things on his mom's iPhone 6S or whatever that she couldn't find. So they can pick things up because they're sponges. They literally have learning mechanisms in their brain that get them to pick up and learn how to navigate the world around them incredibly successfully. That's what children are made to do. But socially, we pass down how for them to be successful. We're supposed to be passing that type of culture down to them, and we're not doing it. And you know what? Our institutions aren't doing it. And we need to realize and recognize that, okay, we could look at these kids and be like, oh, those kids are crazy. But no, the string of kids killing themselves on Facebook and all that stuff, and these strings of other really dysfunctional, crazy things, we're seeing kids basically are screaming out, please, someone notice that I'm in pain and pay attention to me for 5 seconds. We need to realize that this is actually a growing problem, and it will be until we start realizing that children need to be socialized differently now with the new technology as is. Children need to be educated differently now with technology and the technological era being the way it is. And if you don't know how and you don't really get it, well, go and figure out how to be educated in it, because it's honestly not hard. There's a million and one different things on YouTube where you can go educate yourself. Go figure some stuff out. Don't say, oh, that's just for the kids. This is not one of the eras that we can turn around and be like, that's the kids stuff, whatever. That's what kids do. That's for the younger generation. We can't do that anymore. We need to sit there, and as the older generations, we need to figure this stuff out because they aren't prepared. And if we don't prepare them, we're just going to see basically social media destroying our youth and taking some of our really good ones, some of our ones that could have probably made really positive changes in our communities and whatever, and it's going to destroy them, and it's going to ruin them and their futures and maybe even their lives. So that's just my final thought.
That is a great point to end on this here stream of the dark side of media. I'm just going to say this before we go. I think that the dark side isn't necessarily the media. I think that the dark side is us. And like I said before, I just think that media has magnified that dark side within Black society. I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. I want to thank you for watching, folks. I want to thank the folks in the chat, my mods, always up there doing what they got to do. It is appreciated. Also, I need y'all to get on down there to the Proper Thought series on Facebook. That's Proper Thought series. 2 words, Proper Thought series on Facebook. Get on over there, like, share, follow the page. There's always some good stuff there. You can always catch up to what's going on TPOT there. Also, make sure you hit up the TPOT bandwagon page on Facebook as well. That is a personal page. You can actually send that page a friend request. Go ahead, send a friend request. I'll make sure that it gets accepted quick. And also, get yourself on down there to the old Prophet of Thought series fan group page. That's right, the Prophet of Thought series fan group page. Go ahead, request to be a member. You will get accepted quickly. I promise. There's always some good stuff on there. It's not just my stuff on there. It's a fan group page, so other people in the group, they post stuff, so you ain't got to just listen to old X talk shit. There's other people on there talking shit too. Also, get on down there to WhatsApp, hit us up there, and Instagram. I actually checked the Instagram today, y'all, and I see that a few of y'all had followed me, so I followed y'all back. You check your Instagram, you see that I did that today. Told you, you follow us on Instagram, you're definitely going to get a follow back. And also, get on down there to Twitter. You know the name of the page. It's TPOT Media on Twitter. It's at TPOT Media on Twitter. Get on down there and follow us on Twitter, or I will haunt your black ass in your dreams tomorrow, the next day, the next way, all the way till Christmas. So get on down there and follow us on Twitter. You follow us on Twitter, you guaranteed to get a follow back there as well. And also make you sure you get on down there to the old Proper Thought Series website, www.don'tevenTryIt.wikifoundry.com. That's www.don'tevenTryIt.wikifoundry.com. Always some good stuff there. And I also got Teacher Tanisha's online store there as well. So get on down there and check it out. And also stop by the old tribute to the fallen and check that out. Look at all the people on the tribute to the fallen carousel. If you have somebody that you want tribute paid to, whether they died by police violence or street violence, send me the photograph and the name, and I'll make sure they get up on the old tribute to the fallen carousel. Once again, I like to thank everybody for coming out tonight. I like to thank Brother Jay Shine, Brother B.MT, and Lady Ruby. And if you look down here in the description box, all their YouTube channels are there, so you can hit them up. Get on down there, subscribe. If you were watching tonight, you know that every single one of these people drops nuggets. So if you missed anything, you might want to go ahead and rewind this tape and kind of hear it again, because some nuggets got dropped tonight. It was good to have Lady Ruby back again up on the old TPOT. Hopefully this won't be the last time she comes through. And also, I need y'all, before y'all go, to make sure your black behinds tune in next week, because next week, Wednesday, September 12th, the one and only Dr. Umar Johnson will be in the house, live and direct, taking your calls. The phone lines will be open. Dr. Umar will be up in the TPOT chair on Wednesday, September 12th. You know the time, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. And like I said, Dr. Umar will be taking your calls live right here on the old TPOT YouTube page. So mark your calendars, because the doc will be in. And like I said, he will be taking your calls, because that's how we do it here at TPOT, folks. But anyway, once again, I want to thank my peeps, Brother B.MT, Brother Jay Shine, and Lady Ruby for a good old show. And make sure y'all stop by all our social media platforms, because they're not on the dark side. We don't want them to control you. We just want you to press the like and the follow and the share. But anyway, I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. It was a good show. I have a lot of respect for all three of you individuals. I don't know what happened to Brother LAR tonight or Teacher Tanisha. They stood my ass up. I will be hitting them up via email and letting them know that I am very disappointed. But anyway, with that, I will leave you with 3 words. Like I always do, open your minds. And we are out of here, y'all.
All right, cheers, y'all.
All right, guys.
Peace.
Peace, folks. dark inside. No. Only from T. Open